A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Get this and get it straight. Crime is a sucker's road, and those who travel it wind up in the gutter, the prison, or the grave. I didn't know it, but I was caught in a smokeout that led from a search for a lady in black, past murder at a highway inn, to gunfire in a warehouse, for a girl already dead in the morgue.
From the pen of Raymond Chandler, outstanding author of crime fiction, comes his most famous character in The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. With Gerald Moore, starred as Philip Marlowe, we bring you tonight's exciting story, The Smokeout.
It never seems to fail. A sleepless night that leaves you with raw nerves and sandpaper eyelids is always followed by a day that never ends. A kind of long, tough day that keeps you on the move until life in the city finally reduced to no more than a confused, clatterous stink of exhaust fumes and an aimless mob of shallow people milling around, looking for nothing but a chance to con each other out of a lousy butt. And this was no exception. Because when I finally decided to quit, to get out of it, to go someplace quiet and relaxed, I found myself instead in a hurry all over again. I was on my way to a very public building on Spring Street at the stubborn instigation of one Detective Lieutenant Matthews of Homicide, whose phone call 20 minutes ago had caught me as soon as I opened my apartment door.
Where you been, Marlowe? Don't you ever check in at that office of yours?
And on days like this, Matthews, they don't give me a chance. What's up?
Tell me all you know about Vera Hamlin, Phil.
Who's Vera Hamlin?
A girl.
No fooling.
Are you real sure you don't know her?
Positive. Am I supposed to?
Maybe she used another name. Pretty, blonde, about 5'6", a sweet kid, apparently.
I can think of a lot of women who fit that description, Matthews.
Yeah, you could. But this one wrote you a letter yesterday.
I didn't get it. Then I haven't been in my office at all today. Why?
She wanted your help.
How do you know?
Well, we picked it up from the imprint at an open pack of stationery in her apartment.
Oh?
Better come down and take a look at her, Phil.
Take a look at her. Where is she?
In the morgue.
Oh?
She was struck by a car last night.
Accident?
What makes you ask that, Marlowe?
Your dubious tone of voice, Matthews. Well, was it an accident?
I guess so. Maybe I've been a cop too long. I get suspicious myself on dark nights.
Can understand it.
Come on down, Phil. Right away. I'll meet you there. You better hold it a while. Oh, here he is now. Hello, Phil.
Hi.
Made good time. This is Mr. Connor, the morgue attendant.
I'm certainly glad to know you, Mr. Marlowe. Is this your first visit?
No, I've been here before, Connor. Well, Matthews, for what good do you think this is going to do to the police department? Let's see her and get it over with.
All right, let's go, Connor.
Certainly. Step this way, please, gentlemen. Follow me.
Happy fella, isn't he?
Well, civil service.
Here, to the right. Now, let's see. Egram, Barnigan. Now, here we are. Hamlin, Vera. There.
Well, Marlowe?
Hmm.
You know her, Marlowe?
No.
Okay, that's all.
All right, Lieutenant Matthews.
Come on, Phil. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Now, look, Matthews, I told you on the phone I didn't know. What'd you get me down here for?
Because there are some angles on this death I don't like to look at. That letter to you is one of them.
Got the letter?
No, I read the whole thing in from the lab on that imprint they worked on. She was worried. She wanted you to investigate something for her. You were supposed to call her today.
Oh, anything about her?
Yeah, she came to L.A. about 6 months ago from Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
She worked for a guy named Brasso's, a produce wholesaler, 77 Market Street. Lately, she was seeing a lot of him after office hours.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. She was killed in front of Brasso's house at 2 a.m. and she was getting out of her car, and Brasso wasn't home at the time.
Oh?
He has a fair alibi, puts him out on Highway 101 north of Santa Monica when it happened.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I'd better get the phone.
Yeah, do that.
What about the motives, Matthew?
No motive.
Well, then why are you so upset?
Why was she so upset? What did she want you for?
That's not enough for you to
if I
go
had
on.
that one answered, I'd know where to go from there.
I know, but you're pinning a murder rap on somebody.
What do you mean murder rap? I'm not up to that.
for you,
All right, thank you. Excuse me, Mister. Hello, this is Matthew. Yeah. A witness. Says it was murder. Sure, get a load of this.
What?
Yeah, give me that again. Yeah, a woman. So what happened, huh? Great. Who was it? The lady in black.
Where'd you get that? It sounds corny.
Where did you get that? It sounds... What? You mean there's a story about it out now in the L.A. Journal? Yeah. I'll be back there in 5 minutes. And listen, get a hold of the reporter who wrote that story and hang on to him. I want to talk to that wise punk. How do you like that?
How do you like it?
Yeah, Vera Hamlin murdered with an eyewitness to prove it. Only the police department is the last outfit in town to know. Come on, Phil.
Where to this time?
To buy a newspaper, find out what's going on.
Matthews was boiling as we left the morgue and headed to police headquarters. We made one stop on the way to pick up a copy of the Journal, which he read as I drove. The kind of smoky, well-illustrated sensationalism that clouds issues double police work and sells papers.
Exclusively to the Journal tonight that she was an eyewitness when a mad killer purposely swerved his speeding car into curvaceous blonde beauty Vera Hamlin outside her lover's Brentwood home late last night. If that's journalism, I'll eat my bag.
Keep reading. You're a cop, not a critic.
Yeah, but I got taste. The lady in black will appear at police headquarters at 9 o'clock to reveal license number and description of the murder and the shocking death which police have already labeled accidental. Nuts. Come on, Marlowe.
I felt a little sorry for Matthews because the way things were breaking, the Vera Hamlin deal was a cinch to become one of those involved screwball affairs. But nothing goes according to the book, and I was glad I never got a letter. Now it was none of my business. All I wanted to do was drop Matthews off, get away from the whole thing, and try to forget about it. But when we piled up behind the waiting squad car at headquarters, a gang of night-beat photographers draping the stairs stopped us.
Don't give you a... Lieutenant, is your witness going to show? It's 9 on the button. Where's the lady in black? Oh, I know. I didn't find out there was a witness till I read it in the Journal. Yeah, that was a dirty trick. Hiya, Marlowe.
Hi, Abbott.
You're an old-timer, Abbott. You guys ought to keep punks like the Journal squirt in line. They just make it tough on everyone. Oh, don't blame us for that guy. He's burned up, huh, Marlowe?
You blame him? You know as well as I do, the Journal picked up that witness right here. Kept her under wraps until they had time to break the story.
Well, he shouldn't let it through him. You know, guys like that usually hang them.
Sure, after the damage is done. Now, I've had enough today, Matthews. Besides, nobody in City Hall signs my check. Good night. I watched him out of sight and drove to the corner where one of the reporters told me that the green sedan had a lady in black in it. Whoever had fired the shots had gotten away clean. So, with that to think about, I drove back to Hollywood and tried a double scotch in a quiet bar. Yeah, it didn't work. Half hour later, I ended up in my office with Vera Hamlin's letter open on my desk. Enclosed were 5 $10 bills and a souvenir postcard from a place called Moon's Point on Highway 101. Penciled across the back of the words, I think this place means trouble to Dave Brasso. I don't know why, Vera. Maybe it was the memory of the girl's face in the mall. Or maybe it was a stack of wrinkled tens on my desk that made me do it. But whatever it was, I went to my car, drove out past Santa Monica, and it took me an hour to get to Moon's Point on Highway 101. An isolated huddle of grimy filling station, rickety six-cabin auto court, and weather-beaten lunch counter and bar, squatting beside the highway. I pulled up at the parking lot and went into the bar where the source of the quaint name Moon's Point met me. Moon himself. He was round, pale, and soft as a lump of green cheese.
What can I do for you, mister?
Dave around?
Dave who?
Brasso. Want to see him on business.
What kind
Private
of
business.
Oh. Okay. Sure, Brasso's here. Out in cabin number 4 there with Mr. Stipple.
Oh?
You can get that back there if you want her. But I don't think they'll have much time for you, fella.
Why not?
The late paper just come in, the L.A. Journal.
Is that all? I got much later news than that for him. Who's there?
Pull it down, will you? My name's Baggett. I'll lead you inside asking for Dave Brasso. Well, if you're a cop, and I might be able to do you a little favor.
What do you got in mind, Baggett?
Well, sister, don't seem to be much love lost between you and Brasso, I'll tell you. I believe in an eye for an eye and tooth for tooth, see? I used to be a driver for Dave Brasso, only yesterday I got canned. Thrown out. Pulled off my truck and fired for no reason at all.
So?
Oh, so I've been sticking close to him, just waiting for a chance to pay him back. And I've been finding out things you might like to know.
Give me a for instance.
Well, for instance, he had a fight. A knockdown, drag-out argument with that Vera Hamlin girl last night, just an hour or so before she was run over. She claimed he was seeing another woman.
What's that prove, Baggett?
She was found dead in front of his house, Bud. You added up. And that's not all either. I know why he's hanging around out here. Also, why it ain't gonna do him one bit of good. I got plenty to tell him.
Wait a minute. Hold it.
Yeah. That's Monty Stipple who opened the door to number 40. I gotta get out of here. I got plenty to tell, Bud, so when you're finished in there, come on over behind the grease rack at the filling station. I'll be waiting for you.
Well, how you feel, Dave? You're on edge. You got reason to be, but running back into town won't help you any. So they got a witness. She's already told it. Wait a minute. There's somebody outside here.
Yeah, that's right. I want to see Dave Brasso.
And Mr. Brasso's pretty busy right now, mister.
Not too busy to see me.
Oh, you cop?
No.
And you must be a crummy reporter, so scram. You look Mr. Brasso up at his place of business some other time.
You mean after he skipped town to keep the witness from putting a finger on him?
Why, you
Hold it,
snooping...
Monty. Wait. Who are you? What's your dodge, soldier?
Name's Marlowe, private detective. I'm here because Vera Hamlin wrote me a letter yesterday.
Vera? Monty, get lost for a couple of minutes, will you? I want to talk to this guy.
Don't you
Go
think you
on,
better
go
let me-
on, beat it.
Well, okay.
All right, soldier. Come on in. You wanted to see me? I'll take a good look. Well?
Okay, so you're big, Brasso. Husky enough to run over somebody and kill him without even getting into a car.
I'll let that one go by, soldier. Where's the letter?
Locked up in my office.
What's she say in it?
Wanted something to look into and said this was a good place to start.
Jealous little fool.
Is that what the fight was about last night?
Right. Well, you do find things out, don't you, soldier?
That's my business.
Well, maybe you know who this lady in black here in the paper is and what she's going to tell.
Maybe. Might even know who was jumping up to try to kill her tonight and shut her up.
Who is that? You mean somebody...
Come on, Brasso. Let's stick closer to the truth. You're a lousy actor. For instance, Vera wanted me to come to this jump because you and Stipple are holed up here. Why?
That doesn't concern you. It's business.
Sure, and when a girl accidentally gets in the way of business, she's run over by it. Is that the way you work?
You keep talking on the same thing, soldier, and I don't like it. I was in love with Vera Hamlin. Maybe you're trying to use that to nail me in a frame. Maybe you're a sneak for that stinking louse weather. Maybe you didn't get any letter from Vera at all, so get out of here and pick up a new one.
Your theories are getting way ahead of you, Buster. Who's Weber?
Jerk. I said get out. Now take that back for an answer, soldier, and you can get more of the same anytime you want it at 77 Market Street.
Brasso's hair trigger left with 200 pounds of shoulder behind it. Piled me out of the door and flat on my back in the gravel. Just tallied my interview with him at 0 with one minor exception. My spiteful informer, Baggett, had some basis intact for his story, so I dusted myself off and made for the rear of the deserted filling station where the grease rack stood. There was nobody around. I waited a few minutes for him, and then I skirted wide around the auto court and looked in at the scaly window at the bar. Stipple was there with his nose in a beer glass, but no Baggett. I circled the building quietly, found nothing but indignant spiders and dark corners, and decided to try the grease rack again. When the back door to the bar opened, and Moon came out with a flashlight and a pail of garbage. He was halfway to a rack of cans when he froze. Like a bird dog with one foot in the air.
Holy mackerel.
His flashlight stabbing at a man's hand, hanging out over the edge of a shallow ditch.
Look there. There's somebody laying in the ditch.
Yeah. No wonder I couldn't find him. It's Baggett with a knife in his back.
Now, with our star, Gerald Moore, we continue with the second act of Philip Marlowe and tonight's story, The Smokeout.
Even as death quietly hardened the hand at the edge of the ditch, the wheezing, pudgy circle known as Moon was already worrying less about why murder was sprawled at his feet and more about what the violent slaying of the truck driver was going to do to his roadhouse business as usual. Didn't make for wholesome listening.
Dave Brasso, that Monty Stipple, all of them. They can take their trade and their trouble somewhere else. I've got to make a buck like the next guy, but I sure ain't going to do it this way. Why, overnight,
Hey, wait a minute, Moon. What troubles are you talking about? Brasso and Stipple, I mean. What is it? Come on, speak up. It may be important.
To who?
To me and the law. To Baggett here. Maybe a girl who died a little ahead of her time.
A girl who what? Mister, you're talking in circles.
Yeah, sure I am. And we don't have time for that, do we, Moon?
Here, let go.
Are you going to talk?
Well? Okay, I'll tell you. It ain't no international secret. Now, get your hands off of me.
All right, but make it fast. The setup, what is it, Moon?
Too much competition. Another produce outfit run by a guy named Mike. He's been picking Brasso's trucks off along US 101 every other night. Sometimes it's a well-planned accident, and sometimes just sloppy hijacking, but all this is trouble.
Trouble Brasso can't prove, is that it?
Yeah. That's the reason for Monday Stipple and the meetings out here. Stipple's supposed to get the proof for Brasso.
The guy going to the car next to mine.
Oh, that's Brasso, Marlowe. And like I said, I've had enough. For my dough, it's time to call the cops. Good luck, sucker.
Brasso was out in front by no more than 30 seconds, so as I ran toward my car on the wall of dust, his tires had kicked up. I figured I had an even chance of catching up with him before he got back to Santa Monica and into heavy traffic. But I figured differently when I had one hand on the door of my car. I had to. Company said so.
I'm holding a gun. Please don't move.
She was standing someplace behind me, and when I did as told, she moved around in a wide, careful arc until we faced each other across a chunk of dark night. It revealed only two things. One, she was holding a gun, and two, there was no mistaking her. This was a lady in black.
Those car keys there in your hand. Throw them here, please.
Now, wait a minute. I'm sure we can talk.
Please, let me have them.
Okay. Now what?
Now, whoever you are, you can look for these while I'm
Hey,
gone.
listen.
I don't want to be interfered with.
Now, wait a minute. Oh, I get it. You're afraid something will jar the sale price you've set for Brasso, huh?
What are you talking about?
That ever-stinking routine known as blackmail. But to be very specific, a mystery witness, you, the lady in black, who almost gets to the police to tag a killer. Almost so she could scare said killer into a generous frame of mind when next they meet. In other words, baby, it was all an act of pressure play on Dave Brasso. Now it's time to collect. Do I go on?
No, you don't. You just do as I say. You just turn around and walk. And think a little. Think about the pistol shots that you neglected to mention, which somebody took at me while I almost went to the police. Or did I do that myself? Also for the sake of Mr. Brasso's frame of mind.
It's possible.
I don't think so. Now go and start walking. You don't make much sense standing here.
As I moved away from her, she backed off quickly toward a car that was nuzzling a high hedge near the far side of the roadhouse. So I knew that any move I intended to make had to be done right then and there. But she must have known just as much because that was when the gun she held got mad enough to start spitting my way. I dove for the gravel at my feet, then practically burrowed my way across a dozen uncomfortable yards of chopped rock to the shoulder of a line of trash cans, all of which left me scarred, safe, and in time to do nothing more effective than swear. I had a pair of heaving tail lights on a green sedan that were already winking out of sight. Didn't help much.
Well, what do you know? The private detective again. Well, what's it this time?
Bill Brasso, Stipple, is he in?
No, he isn't.
That's funny.
No, I don't think so. I only think you're funny. The panic, Marlowe. Moon and I have been watching you comb that gravel out there searching for the key. We couldn't catch the chatter, but she certainly made you look stupid. And just so you don't go on looking that way, don't bother playing so wide-eyed about Brasso being in here either. You see, I know you know he isn't. It won't work, sonny boy.
Maybe a little pressure will.
I doubt it. I don't bend easy, Marlowe. Also, I don't happen to know where Brasso went. But just so nobody gets too upset or quick with a gun, maybe we have to go back over to the bar to chat. Moon's expecting me. Besides, it's cozier there.
It won't be. Once the cops start pouring in. Incidentally, it makes it your turn not to play dumb. I mean Ernie Baggett being very dead out in the back.
Even Stevens, huh, Marlowe?
Yeah.
Okay. I know about Baggett.
From Brasso? I
heard you. Nice night. Marlowe?
You know, Stipple, you're making a big mistake.
What?
Protecting Brasso can't pay off anymore.
You said I was protecting him. I worked for Dave Brasso, period. If he knocked off a couple of people, and I'm not saying he has, it's got nothing to do with me. What's done is done.
Which doesn't include the girl, huh?
Who? That witness? What's the difference? What happens to her? She's living on borrowed time right now any way you look at it.
Why? Because of what she knows?
No. Because of the way she handles what she knows. All that gab in the papers. You know, she's lucky those 3 shots that were thrown at her only came out of a pistol. Could have been a howitzer, considering the advance notice she gave. Hey, Moon.
What?
The cops here yet?
No, they ain't. Highway patrol said 5 minutes, 10 minutes ago. I sure wish they'd get here.
Don't worry, they will. Tell Marlowe will be. Hey, private detective. Come out of it. What's up?
Around here, Stipple, nothing. Nothing at all.
Where are you going?
is 77 Market Street, the Barlow Produce Company. I think it's where both your boss and the lady in black are going to get together.
And what gives you that idea?
A hunch, Stipple. Just a hunch. Goodbye. Produce Company was a half a block of corrugated metal warehouse parked behind a wide loading ramp, which at 2 a.m. bustled with enough noisy, fresh vegetable business to turn night into day. And when I was out of my car, clear of the whirring electric hand cart, making my way in between sided lettuce crates toward a cage-marked dispatcher, I kept wondering how a guy who built an outfit like this single-handed could have possibly made the mistake I figured was his. I stopped wondering when a face that had been stolen from a hawk pressed itself close to the inside of the cage and yelled at me.
Well, what is it, mister? Plug up there. Billy, I'm busy here. Wait, take 31 out now.
I want to see Dave Brasso.
Oh, that isn't here. Dispatcher. Yes. 21 a bushel. Right. Brasso's not in his office, mister. I'm not sure where he is.
I'm not sure.
You a cop?
No, private detective. With expense account. Will 5 help?
He just paid 10.
Oh, let it ring. Come on, Buster, this counts. Here's 10. The lady in black?
Yeah. Keep it down, will you? She stood around for maybe 20 minutes before she got talking to me. Not a bad-looking doll.
All right. Now, where'd you send her? Come on, you got your 10 talk.
Hang on just a minute.
Where?
The old shed in the back. Used to be a warehouse. They've got a real private office there. You'll probably catch up there if you run.
I'll probably try. Thanks. The ex-warehouse turned out to be an ugly huddle of plush cobbler teetering at the edge of a deserted cobblestone alley, and quietly dying of old age. And except for a flicker of light from an open door deep inside, it was as dark and as quiet as the lining of a frock coat. Until I stepped in front of a gun, it was no surprise.
When I told you that I didn't want to be interfered with, I meant just that. Now, without shouting, who are you?
For one thing, a private detective named Philip Marlowe. Another, a guy who's still working for Vera Hamlin.
You're working for Vera?
That's right, but not swinging in the dark.
Which means what?
That you never saw Vera Hamlin killed in the first place. And that all this lady in black razzle-dazzle is strictly a smokeout.
Vera was my sister, Marlowe. Her letters told me all about Dave Brasso. About what he meant to her. About the runaround she was getting from him.
So you added that to a phony hit-and-run accident and decided to pose as a surprise witness. So that Dave Brasso would try to pick you off and reveal himself as your sister's killer. If you lived through it.
Right. Now, Marlowe, Marlowe, quick. Get back. Brasso just turned that light off in there. He's coming out. And I'm going to meet him.
No, don't.
Look,
Listen.
If you want to help, stay where you are. Keep quiet.
Oh, brother. I'd better be right. She moved one slow step at a time toward the long, thin triangle of light the open warehouse door spilled across the sawdust flooring. I slid my 38 from the shoulder holster to the right hand, and the hair on the back of my neck started to crawl. And suddenly there was nothing to do but wait.
You can stop right there, Mr. Brasso.
Who's there? Who are you?
A girl named Hamlin, Mr. Brasso. Frances Hamlin. A girl who knows all about how my sister really is.
It was only a sudden flash of light without almost taking it. It was a pistol raised and aimed at the back of Frances Hamlin's head. It was all the cue I needed.
Drop it, Biffle! Don't shoot again! Don't fire again!
Marlowe, quickly, Brasso's get out.
Yeah, but he's harmless, honey. He and Stipple aren't on the same team as far as your sister's concerned. Did you hear that, Brasso?
Yeah, I heard you, Marlowe.
Then Stipple killed my sister. Why, Marlowe?
I don't know. He's the one to ask about that.
All right. Why, Stipple? Dave, why did you do it?
Dave, stay back.
Why?
I did it because she caught me at my place, caught me talking to Mike Weber.
You worked for Weber for the guy who was wrecking our business?
Yeah, Dave, please, I didn't know what I was doing. She was going back to you to tell you what she saw.
You double-crossing lousy.
Hey, that's enough.
No, it isn't.
Please, Dave.
I've got something to finish.
On the city payroll. You did all right tonight. Hey, Lieutenant.
Chuck Matthews.
Hey, Lieutenant, how about the story? We're pushing our deadline on a bulldog edition.
Yeah, we work for daily papers, Matthews. You've been holed up in that warehouse with Marlowe and that heavy for a half hour now. What is?
Hey, how bad is Stipple's wound? Look, the wound is nothing. It's a scratch, although I wouldn't say he ain't hurt. But the story will have to wait until I'm down at headquarters. I haven't got it all myself. Oh, Lieutenant, you're kidding. Sure, I got lots of time for it. Listen, Abbott. Monty Stipple killed both Vera Hamlin and Ernie Baggett. He killed the lady because she found that he was crooked, and he killed Baggett because he was afraid Baggett knew too much. And now, so long. Oh, but Lieutenant, tonight I got something less than love for the gentleman of the press. Hey, Phil, come on. Miss Hamlin's over there.
All right.
Look, Marlowe, before it's impossible for me to stay away from those dear boys any longer. Tell me, where did you run across the switch? I mean, what tagged Monty Stipple for?
Mistake he made, Lieutenant, calling the shots when he was blindfolded.
Or in other words, what?
Matthews, I'm tired. Tomorrow, huh?
No.
We can talk then. Come on,
Marlowe,
friend.
please.
Okay. Well, it's something like this. Back at Moon's Point, Stipple told me how lucky the lady in black was. Only 3 shots were thrown at her.
And he had no way of knowing how many shots had been thrown, huh?
Attaboy. Unless, of course, he threw them himself.
Sure.
Francis had a smokeout plan, which was an inspiration to me because knowing Stipple was a liar and proving it were 2 different things.
So you led him to the warehouse, and while Miss Hamlin here gunned for Brasso, Stipple gunned for her.
You're so right, and good night, Lieutenant Matthews.
No, listen, Marlowe,
Good night, Lieutenant.
Okay. Good night, Phil. Good night, Miss Hamlin.
Good night, Lieutenant. Thanks, Marlowe.
And what? More questions?
Uh-huh. But not under vital statistics.
No.
Marlowe, one way or another, my crazy plan has worked, right?
I guess so.
Well, then tell me. Now that Stipple's caught and, well, it's all over, am I supposed to feel good?
I don't know, baby. Maybe that's what's so screwy about revenge. It's got all the permanence of a smoke ring, even when you're positive it's justified. Cigarette? I'd been dog-tired when it started. Whipped. Fed up with the city and the aimless, milling mob of shallow people. Always hungry for a buck that made it move. But now as I drove through the quiet, empty downtown streets and listened to Francis Hampton talk about her sister, who had never been anything but nice, I stopped thinking about those money grubbers and thought instead about the ones like Vera. All the people all over the world who sometimes get in trouble because other people won't realize the world is not for sale. Yeah. The Veras are the ones to keep in mind. And that was when I decided that I was only tired, not whipped, not fed up. All I needed was a good night's sleep. So I went home and got it.
Adventures of Philip Marlowe, bringing you Raymond Chandler's most famous character, star Gerald Moore, and are produced and directed by Norman McDonald. Script is by Robert Mitchell and Gene Levitt. Featured in the cast were Lynn Allen, Barney Phillips, John Daner, Jack Crucian, Parley Bear, Edgar Barrier, Byron Kane, Hugh Thomas, and Bill Lally. Detective Lieutenant Matthews is played by Larry Dobkin. The special music is composed and conducted by Richard Orange. Be sure and be with us next week when Philip Marlowe says...
Coast to coast, Gangbusters, police, the G-men are government agents marching against the underworld. Tonight, the case of the Wolverine, a shrinking, shadowy figure who stole out of the raging blizzards of the North Country to spread terror and destruction. That's tonight's Gangbusters. Picture our setting is a special office turned over to Gangbusters by Commissioner Louis J. Valentine of the New York City Police for a proxy interview between Colonel H. Norman Schwarzkopf, United States Army, and Tim Curran, former sheriff, Delta County, Michigan. Colonel Schwarzkopf. I understand tonight's case has a very unusual setting, Sheriff Curran. Yes, Mr. Schwarzkopf. The desolate North Woods on the upper peninsula of the state of Michigan. And it was out of the swirling blizzards of this region that the criminal known as the Wolverine struck. When I hear you mention blizzards, Colonel Schwarzkopf, my ears go right up. Why, Frank? Well, blizzards, cold, and rain make up what I call Sloan's liniment weather. And this winter, with fuel so carefully rationed, is going to make heavier demands than ever on your bottle of reliable Sloan's liniment. So be prepared, as families the world over have prepared themselves during the past 50 years. Always have a bottle of Sloan's liniment handy. Sloan's, you know, takes only a jiffy to apply, and usually brings you quick and comforting relief in almost no time at all. No painful rubbing or massaging. Just pat Sloan's on that sore place and relax for a few minutes. You'll actually feel Sloan's go to work like a heat treatment, which seems to soothe the tightness and tiredness right out of that aching muscle. Don't let winter catch you unprepared. Ask your favorite druggist for a bottle of Sloan's liniment tomorrow. And now, Colonel, what about the blizzard you were discussing?
Well, Sheriff Curran, where and when does the case of the Wolverine begin?
Late one cold winter's night near the town of Gross, Michigan. A fur trapper, Pierre de Gan, and his dog trotted through the heavy snowdrift toward the shack of another isolated trapper, John Charles. It was beginning to snow heavily. A blizzard was setting in.
But soon we warm up at Mr. Charles' place, huh? There she is, back there. With the lights to the pantry. I bet Mr. Charles is surprised to see us after all this month. Come on, boy. Mr. Charles. Mr. Charles. You wouldn't go out and leave the lights on. Maybe something wrong. Look at that. The door is swinging open by herself. Come on, boy. We go in and see. Mr. Charles. Mr. Yes. Mr. Charles down on the floor. Oh, good God. His head all blood. Hello? Anyone here? Hello? I'm here. Run back up with your hand. Come up with your hand. What have you done to Mr. Charles? Shut up, Mutt. My Jupiter! You steal my dog! I'm killing you, too, for sticking your nose in here at the wrong time. I can die there with your dog.
Take it over to Northwest Carnival Frail Railroad Station.
Fred, that's you?
Yes. Who are you talking to?
Here's the gun. Fred.
Yeah?
There is bad trouble. Mr. Charles has been bitten and robbed in his cabin.
What's that you say?
And the gunman, he killed my dog and tried to kill me.
Good luck. Pierre, you saw this gunman, did you? Was he a big fellow with a black mask and a green mask and all?
Yes, but now you know, Fred.
That's the same critter robbed me here at the station the other night. The Wolverine. Pulled about 10 robbers, he did. Pierre, did you call Sheriff Tim?
Well, Sheriff Tim don't answer the telephone. That is why I call you.
Yeah, all right, Pierre. I'll get the sheriff quick. I'll call him back right now.
I won't put down that phone.
How did you get it down? The Wolverine.
You didn't expect me back again, did you? I want that cash box. That's just a little taste of what I'll give you. Get me the cash box.
Cash box.
There better be more money in it than last time. Not bad. Not bad at all. 9:30 Fred, right on time to pick me up. Now, Pop, you get yours.
Keep your hands off of me.
You gonna call that two-bit sheriff, eh? Here's what I think of sheriff. Sit down, Detective Ross. Been doing a little checking on some police reports.
Sheriff Jim, this case has me dead beat.
You're right.
No wonder they call him the Wolverine. Seems to have an animal's instinct to avoid every trap we've set.
Now, let's do a little reasoning, Detective Ross. The Wolverine is no stranger to these North Michigan woods.
Mm-hmm.
Notice his cunning in heading for the railroad tracks after he told us.
Yes. It prevents our tracking his footprints through the snow. All he has to do is hop a freight. The trail is lost.
I certainly hope our new plan works, Sheriff Tim. That, sir, people are afraid to go out nights, barricading their doors, thinking each sound they hear is the Wolverine stealing up on them.
If our first plan doesn't work for us, the second plan may. You know your assignment?
Yes, Sheriff. Stand guard at the North Escanaba Railroad Station every night.
Good. Chief Carswell will have men watching the other stations. It may take nights of watching, but this time, if the Wolverine returns, we'll be ready for him.
Railroad station's like an ice house. Probably warmer outside than in here. Be long after midnight. Made me jump. Didn't expect that thing to ring. Sheriff's the only one knows I'm here. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Well, who is it? Who is it?
I was just wondering, Detective Ross, if you were lonely down there at North Escanaba.
Who is it? Whoever you are, if you got anything to say, you better say it. Hello?
You should have been watching the railroad station up at Gladstone, Detective. I just dropped it. I thought I'd let you know.
Hello? Okay, brother, so the joke's on me, eh? Well, maybe not. You don't know about the other trap the sheriff said. And you've just swallowed it. Hook, line, and sinker.
This case gets more interesting all the time, Sheriff Cohen. I know our Gangbusters listeners are anxious to know what this second trap was.
I know that I, for one, am most interested in Colonel Schwarzkopf, because I've been advising our Gangbusters audience for a long time to set a few traps of their own. Traps that will catch muscular aches and pains in time to prevent needless suffering. It's very simple. First, guard against overexertion, accidents, and overexposure to raw weather. Second, if muscular distress does strike, despite all your precautions, apply Sloan's liniment at once. Third, be prepared. Always have a bottle of Sloan's liniment on your medicine shelf. The sooner you pat on Sloan's liniment, the sooner you can expect the quick and comforting relief for which Sloan's is so famous. And how welcome that relief is to you men who come in stiff and sore from your jobs, or you youngsters with your football Charlie horses and roller skating bruises. Yes, even to you mothers, who often feel that a day's washing and cleaning seem to tie your muscles into knots. All you have to do is pat Sloan's on that aching back or stiff shoulder, and almost immediately you'll feel that gentle and penetrating warmth acting like a heat treatment to smooth out the kinks and miseries in those painful muscles. Remember, it's best to be prepared. Ask your druggist for Sloan's liniment next time you're shopping in his store. Well, Colonel, that's the kind of trap I've been setting. What about the trap we hope is going to close on the Wolverine?
Well, Sheriff Cohen, you told us how the Wolverine robbed the railroad station at Gladstone, Michigan, while the authorities were guarding the station at North Escanaba.
But without knowing it, the Wolverine fell into a carefully set police trap, Colonel Schwarzkopf. It took a little while for the trap to develop. But 3 days later, it was beginning to close. In Nick's small lunchroom on Main Street in Escanaba, Michigan, at exactly 14 minutes to 8 in the morning.
Hey, Nick, how about a check for the food? Let me get out of here.
Oh, sure thing, Mr. Parent. Let's see. You wait for 60, 70, 85 cents, Mr. Parent.
Okay, Nick. Here's $1. Keep the change.
Oh, thank you.
So long.
Goodbye. He's a very fine man, P.A. You want more coffee, P.A.?
Who is that, Nick?
Oh, that was a Joe Parent. And do you know him, P.A.?
Oh. No. First, seemed like I heard that voice someplace.
Oh, monsieur. Mr. Parent used to live in Escanaba from 2 years ago, P.A., but he moved out west to buy a ranch. Now he come back for a little while. I wish I had his money. If I had one of Mr. Parent's money, P.A., I wouldn't slave in a lunch cart like this.
No wonder you don't have his money, Nick. Look what you are doing.
What am I doing? Send the money. What do you know? I roll up a dollar bill again with a paper napkin and throw it away.
That's a good one out of me, all right. $28 bills. I better put in the cash register. That's a good one. A me $12 bill away.
Then, at 9 o'clock that night, Colonel.
I'm so excited to Chief Croswell. I rushed right over here to your police office. Chief Croswell, don't you see? This dollar bill that I make a mistake about and roll up into my napkin. She's the one who was stolen the money from Gladstone Railroad Station. There's the mark on the front of it, like you won on the stock.
Now, easy, Nick. Calm down.
Yeah.
This is one of the marked bills, all right, but, Nick, when the Wolverine robbed the Gladstone Station, he had no idea he was stealing marked money.
Oh.
But he was. He had every bill in the Gladstone Station marked. And this dollar bill certainly has our marking on it.
Well, you told me, Chief Croswell, to watch all the bills for that little mark on it. I'll do it. I see the mark on that dollar.
You say it was your parent who gave you this dollar, Nick?
Absolutely, Chief Croswell. Positively, without a mere confession. This morning in my lunchroom, he gave it to me. I remember well, I started to roll it up into my napkin and throw it away, but Pierre the guy who was there, he saw me almost to throw it away.
I wonder where parents got it. I noticed parents back in town, Nick. I understand you bought a ranch out west.
Well, sure, but I ain't saying that Mr. Payne stole this money, Chief Croswell. I'm just saying that Mr. Payne gave it to me. Maybe somebody else gave it to Mr. Payne.
Well, you did a good job spotting it, Nick. It's the first mark bill that's turned up.
Pretty good eyes to feel all the man, eh? When I give it my cash register, I get so excited, I knock over two ketchup about it.
Yeah, well, I know the hotel Mr. Payne's stopping at. Think I'll drop over there and see what he can tell me about this dollar bill. Yes? Who is it? Police Chief Croswell. Police? Oh, just a minute. Hello, Mr. Payne. I heard you were back in town. Well, I was wondering if you had any idea where you picked it up.
Oh, I see. Where I picked it up.
Yeah.
I know it, Chief. I'm afraid I can't help you. I might have gotten it anywhere.
Well, can you think where you changed any bills? You may even have more than the marked money on you. Take a look in your wallet.
My wallet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have it right here in my back pocket.
Hey. What's the idea of that gun, Parent?
As I didn't know, copper. Stand around and watch out that closet in the corner. Come on.
Oh. You're the Wolverine.
Move or I'll plug you.
Yeah. I know you will.
Pretty clever marking that money, Chief. But I won't help you now. Open that closet door, Chief. Now get it. Oh, extend your arm, the door will close, eh? I'll fix your arm. I'll fight it. Now, wise guy. Nuts, I forgot his gun. I better slam. No, you don't, Parent. Tell me or I'll shoot.
Good job. Going right through that balcony window.
A quick search of the alley tunnel showed where Parent had landed. There were blood stains in the snow. Chief Croswell, following the stains and seeing that they led toward the railroad tracks, hurried back to headquarters and rounded up all available men.
All right, men. Now get lanterns and flashlights. Blood stains leading toward the tracks. I checked for the railroad, and there's no train passing through. This time we got the Wolverine in the open. That's it. You be ready to swear in more deputies. We need them. I'll let you know. Right, you, sir. Okay, men. Everyone set? I will spread out and cover the railroad tracks. Come on, let's go. Hey, Joe, you go over there.
The trail led along the railroad for half a mile, Colonel, and then branched off into heavy brush and woodland, where it eventually was lost. Then, just before midnight, a report came that footprints, evidently apparent, had been seen entering the forest 4 miles to the east. Chief Croswell and Pierre the gun, whose dog Parent had killed, and who since had been deputized, were nearest the spot and picked up the trail. It was 18 below zero. Snow falling heavily.
Chief Croswell, this snow she's falling so fast, she's flat out Parent's footmark.
Yeah, well, we got to hurry, Pierre.
Looks like he's heading for Big Place Lake and the railroad beyond. You're the best trapper in the state, Pierre. If anybody can trail him, you can.
That we got to be careful, Chief Blackwell. So, may wait in ambush and kill before we see him.
Yeah.
Huh?
Something moving over there by those bushes.
That is just another of those squares that is... They ever bunch together in wolf pack, Chief Croswell. We be in one tough spot.
Yeah. Well, let's go on.
That's pretty clear. What color?
Stop. There is something up ahead this time.
Yeah. A shack just back of the street.
That's probably White Parent heading this way. To get to that shack. Out of the wind. We sneak up to that side window. Careful now.
See anything?
Well, looks empty inside.
We'll try the door.
Malay! Open door for us! Oh, safe, my friend. Let's go. The leg is broke. The devil is broke. Go right into my leg. Oh, safe here. I'll see if I can tie the trap. Open. It's open a little. Can you pull your leg out? Yes. Really big boy, please. Yes. That's not here. The leg's ripped to pieces.
That devil belongs at the trap. Baron knew he was running in. He set the trap in front of the door.
Get your arm around my neck. I'll have you inside the shack.
So long, he will get away.
Well, I got to fix you first here. You'll die if I leave you here.
If he snows, he will block out our strength, Chief Croswell. He will get away.
I'm afraid of that, but right now it's your life we got to worry about. Come on, put your arm around me.
That was a very unusual accident, Sheriff Kern. The police actually being stopped by a bear trap.
Yes, Colonel Smokeout. And it enabled Clarence to escape. Alarms were flashed out, and late the next day, word came that a man answering Clarence's description had been seen near the railroad station at Champion. Sheriff Tim and Detective Ross left for Champion immediately.
Well, Sheriff Tim, I guess there's no sense hanging around this railroad station any longer. Dad must have beat us when he saw the station agent and spotted him.
Yeah.
What I'm afraid of, Detective Ross, is that Dad will hop a train and head for the Canadian border. Well, there are no more trains out of here tonight, Sheriff. No, but there is a 10:30 train. Leaves from over at Astoria tonight. Sheriff Tim, we could never get over there in time. It's 5 after 10 now, and Astoria is 11 miles away. We've got to make it in time. But how? There's only one possible way. See out there on the railroad siding?
The handcar trail, Tim?
Yes. That's our only chance. We've got to pump that handcar and get to Astoria before the train does. Holy smoke. Come on, there's no time to lose. Every second counts. Thank you, Detective Ross.
I'm right. This is the first time I've ever pumped a handcar, Sheriff Tim. My hand's broke. Keep pumping.
That mighty force will be catching up on us any minute now. I've gone after criminals a good many ways, but never before on a handcar.
If the train overtakes us while we're on this trestle with it, thumbs, Mr. Sheriff.
Faster.
Good Lord, it's coming now. We haven't a chance. We've got to get across this trestle.
Open.
We can't make it. We're almost there. I can see the engine lights right back of us.
There, we did it. Roll out. I've got to dump this Hamilton car off the tracks so the train will be right. Come on. Look. All right. Put your off a bit further. Now run for the railroad station in time. All right.
What's that now? People are getting on. Is he fast? No, it's Mr. Wait. There he is. Where? Near that woman with the suitcase. What now? He's right back of her. Yes, we got to get him before he can move his gun. We're going to cap with it, too. Stand still. He's looking this way. He sees us. Come on. Watch him. Don't care if he's pulling his gun. Fly it up. I'll kill you. Don't. I'll get it on, bro. Put the gun on him. All right. There you go. Let him roll. Well, that's a good Jerry. Now I have. Another second-handed kid. Hopping trains is always part of your scheme, fella. But this is one train you're missing. Come on. You're going in the opposite direction.
Sheriff Kern, the police did a remarkable job in ending the menace of the Wolverine. Thank you for telling us this case. Yes, Colonel Smokeout. This apparent had proved one of the most elusive and wily criminals. But today, this apparent is behind bars at the Marquette State Prison in Michigan. Well, that certainly was quick thinking on the part of Sheriff Kim and Detective Ross in using that hand car to cut off Barron's escape. I was just going to mention that, Colonel Schwartzkopf, but when Detective Ross complained a few seconds ago that his back was half broke with working the hand car, it brought to my mind the many letters we've received from regular railroad men applauding Sloan's liniment. And praise from them is praise indeed. Yes, Sloan's liniment helps to save many an hour's work that might otherwise be lost. And these days, when every pair of hands count, that's important. And that's the reason so many men make sure to keep a bottle of Sloan's liniment on the job with them, as well as on the medicine shelf at home. Because Sloan's is the pat-on liniment. All you need is a few minutes during a rest period or your lunch hour to apply it to that sore and aching muscle. Like a heat treatment, Sloan's will be helping to bring you quick and comforting relief while you work. Just pat Sloan's on. That's all there is to it. So tonight or tomorrow, on your way home from work, drop in at a convenient drugstore and get a bottle of dependable Sloan's liniment to keep in your locker. You'll find Sloan a real friend in need when you want relief in a hurry. And now, Gangbusters presents its nationwide cruise of criminals still at large. Wanted for questioning, murder, man described as 70, about 5 feet 8 inches, 160 pounds, thinning gray hair, parted left side, thinning gray hair, parted left side, gray-brown eyes, with prominent crow's feet, gray-brown eyes with prominent crow's feet, no teeth, refers to himself as yours truly, man of 70, gray hair parted on left side, crow's feet around eyes, refers to himself as yours truly, man fitting this description, sought for questioning concerning murder by Sheriff's Office, Port Orchard, Washington. Charged with bank robbery, George Thompson, 32, 6 feet 1/4 inch, 155 pounds, hair dark, combed back, long nose, deformed, slopes to right side, long nose, deformed, slopes to right side, long neck with prominent Adam's apple, long neck with prominent Adam's apple, large hands, walks very erect, never wears hat, likes to play cards, never wears hat, likes to play cards, man, 32, tall, slim, nose sloping to right, long neck with prominent Adam's apple, man fitting this description, wanted for questioning, bank robbery, Katona, New York. Charged with violation National Motor Vehicle Theft Act, Edward Hendrickson, 42, 5 feet 9 inches, 165 pounds, heavy black hair,
dark eye, scar over right eye, scar right cheek, scar left front chin, mole left cheek, nose turns up at end, nose turns up at end, gold cap upper front tooth, gold cap upper front tooth, tip left index finger amputated, tip left index finger amputated, neat dresser, likes to play golf, bridge.
If you have any information concerning these clues, notify your local police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or Gangbusters at once. And now here's what Philip H. Lord has planned for next week.
Gangbusters, friends, for Sloan's Liniment next week, we're going to take you behind the scenes as a modern police department unravels a series of baffling incidents. Learn how the police found a paper matchbox, an umbrella, and an antifreeze tag. Hear how these small articles set the police on the trail of an infamous gang and the startling climax. You won't want to miss 1 second of next week's gripping Sloan's Liniment presentation of Gangbusters. Gangbusters is a Philip H. Lord production which has originated in New York.
Proudly we hail. From New York City, where the American stage begins, here is another program with a cast of outstanding players. Public service time has been made available by this station for your Army and your Air Force to bring you this story, as proudly we hail the United States Army. Our story is entitled Blow. Proudly we hail the flexible United States Army's alert preparedness that at home and abroad, in peacetime and during war, reduces the impact of disaster for civilians and the military alike. Our first act curtain will rise in just a moment, but first...
Say, young fellow, if you want to be the sort of man that others look up to, you'll get there fast if you can qualify to join the Army. You'll see a change from the very moment you put on the uniform of a United States soldier. You'll not only stand straighter and taller, you'll walk with the sure tread of a man who knows where he's going. Your training in the Army will give you the confidence of a man with an important job to do. Of course, you have to pass the mental and the physical examinations in order to get in this oldest military service in our country. But once you're in, you're on the way up. So visit your local United States Army and United States Air Force recruiting stations. There's a recruiter there who'll be very glad to tell you all about what's in it for you when you join the United States Army.
And now your Army and your Air Force present the Proudly We Hail production, The Big Blow. November 25th, 1950. A Saturday morning, Fort Monmouth, New Jersey, home of the United States Army Signal Corps.
Is it the fastest you can go? This isn't weather for speed.
You just say that again.
What were you doing in the supply room?
Checking out another blanket.
Thought I'd never find you. What's it all about, Cream? Big hurry.
General Lanahan has alerted the entire post. Everybody has to report to his station. It's on the public address system. Did you hear it?
Much has the door closed. What kind of emergency is it?
Nobody said, but it must be because of the storm. The radio said it was a hurricane.
Vince know about it?
How could anybody with eyes and ears not know about a hurricane?
No, I mean about the alert.
He took off 2 hours ago for the Spring Lake Hospital to give blood. You know that.
I thought maybe he'd gotten sick.
He hasn't. Now, hike, soldier. The general isn't going to be impressed that you were checking out an extra blanket when he sounded an alert.
It wasn't officially labeled a hurricane. But to the people who lived through it, the difference wasn't noticeable. Winds of 70 and 80 miles an hour lashed Monmouth County. Rain drove against the frail seashore cottages and bungalows. In South Amboy, citizens, forced to evacuate their homes, crowded into the high school. In Seabright, the police feared panic. In Spring Lake, the hospital staff was on edge.
Dr. Fish?
Yes?
Private Table, the soldier from Fort Monmouth with AB-RH negative type blood.
I'll let you know if we need you, Private.
Yeah, but, Doc, this storm and all, I should get back to the post. Can't you let me know if there's any point in my staying around?
It was good of you to volunteer, Private Sable. Hospitals have to rely on volunteer donors, particularly when rare types of blood are needed. I'm sorry if I was brusque, but Mrs. Peters is being wheeled into the delivery room now.
Where's her husband? Can't you use his blood?
He's dead. She's a widow.
Oh.
As far as I know now, we will need you. But I won't be certain for, 10 minutes to half an hour. If you're worried about getting back, why don't you phone Fort Monmouth?
I did.
And?
Couldn't get through. The phone is out of order. The lines must be down.
Relax as much as you can, Miss Peters. Although new mothers never believe it, babies are born safely every day.
I'll try, Doctor.
Where's that soldier, nurse?
I sent the orderly to get him.
We're going to give the transfusion I told you might need, Mrs. Peters. It's perfectly painless. You'll feel much stronger after you've had it. Miss Gill. Did you get any candles?
Yes, Doctor.
I must admit the sudden Jersey storm scared the daylights out of me. There's always the chance that the power will go out.
And candles won't help if we need the incubator, Doctor.
Oh, an oxygen tent. I know. I was thinking the same thing. This baby will be a premature birth. Well, all we can do is hope, I guess. Anyway, here's our soldier. Take your jacket off, Sable. Roll up your left sleeve. Mrs. Peters, this is Private Sable. He has the same type of blood you do and came all the way over from Fort Monmouth to help us.
Very kind of you to come.
How you do, ma'am?
Just lie down here in this next cot, Sable.
Yeah.
You given blood before?
Yes, sir. Now, don't you worry, ma'am. A transfusion is as simple as falling off a log.
I'm not worried.
Well, we made it. Corporal Prima and Private Blake reporting for duty, Captain. Get out of your wet gear. Then, Prima, you take the switchboard and tell Golden to get some breakfast.
Yes, sir.
Now, Blake, make a check against the roster of who's here, then stick with me.
Yeah.
All right, Golden Boy. Let a man take over. You have a date with the chef. Message Center, Corporal Prima. Just a minute, please.
Captain.
Oh, there you are. South Amboy wants 100 cots and 200 blankets. Find out what they want and say we'll dispatch them immediately. Then get me dog company supply room.
Where do you want them sent, South Amboy?
Right, they're practically on their way. Here's dog company, Captain. South Amboy wants them at Hoffman High School. Message Center, Corporal Prima. Hold the line a minute, please. Did you put in a call for the Red Cross, Captain? Yeah, give it to me here. This is Captain Ahern at Fort Monmouth, ma'am. I just wanted to tell you not to hesitate to call on us if we can be of help in any way. The entire post has been ordered to stand by. We have cots, blankets, medical supplies, personnel. Oh, that's perfectly all right, ma'am. Thank you.
Hey, you hear anything from Vince?
Not a word. Excuse me, Dick.
Yeah.
Ford's lighting up like a Christmas tree again. Message Center, Corporal Freeman.
How do you feel, soldier?
Like I said, as easy as falling off a log, isn't it, Mrs. Peters?
Oh.
Do your best to lie still and relax, Mrs. Peters. It'll pass in a moment. How much blood has she received, Miss Gill?
Nearly 2 pints.
Better cut it off.
Yes, Doctor. And now should I... Oh, the lights, Doctor. Doctor, I'm giving labor already, Doctor.
Miss Gill.
I've got matches here somewhere.
Miss Gill, get the candles.
Yes, sir.
And call Fort Monmouth. Tell them to get emergency power here immediately. Oh, but you said the phone lines were down, didn't you, Sable?
I can find a phone that's working, Doc.
Here's a candle, Doctor.
Light them, please.
Yeah, I found my matches, Miss Gill.
Thank you. Better in the light.
Come on, Doc. Get this thing off my arm so I can get to a phone.
You can't say those.
Who says I can't?
You just gave nearly 2 pints of blood. You're supposed to rest a half hour afterward for each pint.
And you're supposed to have an incubator or whatever you call it in working order for Mrs. Peters' baby when it's born early. Incubators work off electricity, Doc. Who else have you got to send who knows his way around this countryside? I thought not. Now get this thing off of my arm. Hey, mister, stop! That's the worst one that went by. I'll pick up this one if I had a light on in front of it. Hey, emergency! Mister, you got to take me to a telephone. I don't care what brought you out in the storm. This is very important. You can say the Army commandeered your car. Now, please, head for the highway fast.
Message center, Corporal Prima.
Take it, Vince.
Okay, Vince, we'll do. Now, you get back to the hospital if you can. The boys will pick you up there. Motor pool, Captain Ahern. Dispatch a mobile generator, P2934 to the Spring Lake Heights Hospital on the double. You short of men? I'll have it stop by here. I can spare you Blake.
Oh, I got plenty of rainfall. The winds are plenty for... Oh, hey, driver, Charlie, stop that 10 people we just passed. Oh, hey, Fitz, am I glad I saw you. You might have drowned in the road back there.
I'll be gladder when we arrive and hook this thing up to the hospital.
Oh, what's it to you?
Just a frightened lady I know, a young widow that's having a baby.
The intervals are much shorter, Doctor.
I can count this girl. Turn left at the next corner, Charlie. Now left again. You can see the hospital in the middle of the block. Pull around to the back, Charlie. I'll meet you there.
Hey, Vince, where do we stop?
There's no time.
Oh, no. No, I'll start running in a line then. Come on, give me a hand, will you, yeoman?
Bring it in here, Dick, and hurry. Put the generator man in this unit.
Charlie says he doubles up because the crew's short-handed.
Well, you get back with Charlie then, Dick. Yeomans and I can splice this. We'll holler when we're ready.
Yo. Come on, Charlie. Vince is splicing it now. Here, let me know if I can help.
Turn her over.
Here we go, Charlie. Oh, no, don't tell me the plugs got wet.
We see electricity around, Doctor.
Please stand back, Miss Gill. Thanks, a good face. Here he is, Miss Gill, perfect and healthy so far, anyway.
Oh, he's darling.
He's also only about 4 pounds large. Wrap him up as warmly as you can immediately.
I have the blankets right here. Dr. Fitch.
Yes.
Will he be all right? I mean, we should put him in the incubator.
Putting him in the incubator will do no good if we have no electricity to run it, Miss Gill. Frankly, I don't know if blankets will do the trick.
He seems to be fighting for breath, Doctor.
Curse all New Jersey, storms, and... Let me have him. Blankets aren't too tight. Poor little fella. Well, we did all we could.
Oh, the lights! Oh, thank God for the signal corps.
Amen to that, Miss Gill. Turn the incubator up to high, Miss Gill, right now.
Charlie, yeoman! It's a boy, and he's going to be all right. You're heroes, fella.
Well, what do you think we ought to make him take, Charlie? An aspirin or a nap?
I'm serious. Mrs. Peters' baby would have died if we cut the generator in a minute later.
Was it really that close?
Sure, early babies have to get in the incubator right away, the doctor said. And, of course, the incubator wouldn't work until we got the generator going.
Charlie kept trying and caught on the third try. It just seemed like an hour. Oh, hi, Cream.
Hi.
We found Vince.
That's fine order.
What brings you out in this weather?
The generator's hooked up and the hospital lights are on. Is everything all right here?
Oh, we're heroes. We saved a baby's life.
Everything all right, Vince?
Fine, Cream.
Okay. Charlie and Yeoman, you stay here and tend the generator. Vince and Dick pile in with me. A whole section of Seabright's in danger, and the captain sent me to get you there on a double to help evacuate the people.
You are listening to the proudly we hail production, The Big Blow. We'll return in just a moment for the second act.
Here's something that's strictly about the birds. The whirlybirds, that is. Otherwise known as helicopters. Yes, sir, the Army's aircraft mechanics who repair the helicopters are among the most important soldiers in the land. And all because there just aren't enough of them. Their training skills are needed on every post where Army airplanes are flown. If you have the background to qualify as an Army aviation mechanic, now's your chance to line up a good job and a good rating for yourself in the United States Army. Even if you don't have the experience, but just the inclination, the Army will train you. You'll be an expert after finishing the Army's highly specialized school. See your local recruiter about your chances for enlisting as an aviation mechanic in the United States Army.
You are listening to Proudly We Hail. And now we present the second act of The Big Blow. All through that November morning and early afternoon, the storm raged on. 6 people were killed. 60,000 homes were left without electricity. Property damage ran into the millions. It was one of the costliest disasters in the history of New Jersey. In the middle of it, dispatching a power unit here and 100 cots there, hurrying 20 strong to Long Branch and 50 strong to Keensburg, were the alerted soldiers of Fort Monmouth. Few of them were busier than Private Vince Sabo. After rushing a mobile generator to the Spring Lake Hospital, which saved the life of Mrs. Cedar's premature baby, Vince and his fellow signalmen headed by jeep toward Seabright, where scores of American families were helplessly marooned.
Isn't there anything we can do, James?
Well, can you think of anything? Oh, I'm sorry, Martha. I shouldn't have spoken that way.
Are you sure? Lucy, we told you can't go out.
Can't I just look?
You can look from the window.
Lucy, why don't you play with your dolls and look at one of your picture books?
I've been doing that all day.
You started to say, Martha.
Right. I was just wondering again if it wouldn't be wise to try and get across the street to the Randalls. Their house is stone,
It's too great a risk, Martha. Come here to the window. See, the street's nearly 3 feet on the water. We could wade across it all right if that were all. But watch. Suppose a tree, like that one, came boiling along while we were crossing. And look what's being blown through the air. Planks, parts of houses. Suppose something like that came hurtling by. It would decapitate one of us.
What decapitate mean, Daddy?
Well, Lucy,
it means to get hurt badly, dear. But we can't stay here, James. The walls are shaking, and I'm sure the roof will blow off. The water's almost up to the floor.
We have to stay.
Until when?
Until the police or the military or our neighbors or somebody come to get us in a boat.
But how will they know to come? We can't phone. The phone went dead early this morning. We can't blink the lights. We haven't any lights. We can't shout. A person's voice wouldn't carry 50 feet in his wings.
Then we have to trust.
Trust what?
The humanity of mankind.
Oh, I wish I had your face, James. I wish I had your face.
Rain's so heavy I can't read the road sign.
You're headed right. Push her along, can't you, Green?
Look, if I go any faster, she won't hold the road. What's the hurry, Vince?
I know this country. A lot of the cottages in Seabright where we're headed are nothing but wooden shacks. They blow down in storms like these.
Oh, this is Vince's day for heroics, Green. This morning he saved a baby's life. This afternoon he wants to save a town. Anything else?
Maybe this sounds silly, but I want to get back to the hospital and see Mrs. Peters and her baby. She had no one to take care of her, and she didn't seem old enough or strong enough to be having a baby.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think we figured some way of preventing trouble like this. Nobody can prevent a storm, Dick. I mean, the trouble that goes with a storm. Well, it's the lack of communication that fouls things up. We have everything necessary to prevent trouble, but we can't use it if we don't know where it's needed. Like the Spring Lake Hospital. Nobody knew it needed a power unit till Vince commandeered a car and got to a phone. Wouldn't radio help? Well, it does. The police called us by shortwave. Just before I left, the post opened K2 USA.
What's that? It's the Fort Monmouth station in the military amateur radio system. Signal Corps has an arrangement with radio hands all over the country to give and send messages in emergencies.
Yeah, but even that doesn't help the average householder in a storm area. His set won't work if the electricity's out. And he couldn't transmit over it even if it did.
Hold it, Frame. Can't see bright. And there's our duck and weasel. Looks like they've been waiting for it.
In Army lingo, a duck isn't a bird and a weasel isn't an animal. They're both amphibious vehicles, strange but wonderful products of man's ingenuity that can travel in equal safety on dry land and on water. At Seabright, New Jersey, on November 25th, 1950, the Army amphibians proved to be not only wonderful but also life-saving.
Hey, there's someone waving over there at the right, Frame. Yeah, I see him. Where's Vince? He's in the back, covering the ones we've already picked up with blankets and sharing them up. How many we got, Dick? I'm afraid to take my eyes off my steering to turn around and count. 22. That's 22 evacuees. You and Vince and I make a whole load of 25 now. Well, here we are. And no! Stay there! Stay where you are till we come for you. Why are people so eager, Green? Got to come out from their houses through this mess on their own. Over you go, Dick. Yeah, I'm over. Come on, Vince. Private Blake and Sable have some rescuing to do.
Martha, get hold of yourself.
But it's so undignified. Standing on the furniture of our own home because our living room floor is a foot deep in water.
Wouldn't it be better upstairs, Dad?
I'm afraid of flying glass, Lucy. 2 windows have already blown out.
But what are we going to do? Are we just going to stand here like this, clutching our skirts until the water rises over our heads?
I've told you 20 times, Martha. Someone must be out in boats or something looking for people like us.
Oh, you just say that to cheer me up.
I say it because this is a civilized country. Everyone knows the cottages down here are flimsy. A storm like this isn't exactly a secret, you know.
Oh, Daddy, I see Mr. Randall on his porch.
Oh, you should stay inside. Wave to him, Lucy, so he'll know we're all right.
I already did. Oh, Daddy, Mommy, look. There's a funny kind of a square boat or something with people in it.
Where, Lucy?
Way down there by the miners, see?
Yeah, it's one of the Army's amphibians. I think the kind they call a duck. You see, Martha? People do remember their neighbors.
Oh, I can see it too now. Oh, James, Lucy.
Daddy, it's turning away.
Don't be silly, child.
It is, Daddy. It is.
I'll go up on the roof. I'll go up there and wave something.
But, James, the broken glass, the wind.
I'll wave my shirt. I'll wave my hat. Nobody's going to leave my family like drowned rats in a trap.
You'd better head back to the truck stream. I think we've got them all. Yeah, we've been up and down every street out here. We're overloaded now. I'd hate to skip anybody. This is the roughest I've ever seen. How can we skip anybody if we've covered every street? Yeah, I guess you're right. Hold on to your hat, Dick. I'm going to swing this thing around. Dick, I can't get it out of my head that we might have missed somebody. Just to play safe, ask one of the evacuees if there's any area around here we didn't cover.
You don't have to ask an evacuee.
Hey, what brings you forward, Vince?
I've been shouting at you, but I guess the wind's too strong. There's an elbow of Seaside Drive way down by the water to commit.
Huh?
Last time I was down here 2 years ago, at least 2 families were living there.
I had a hunch we weren't through. But if we go back, it'll postpone your rendezvous with Mrs. Peters.
Stop talking so much and push this thing along towards Seaside Drive.
Don't look so tired.
I'm sorry, Lucy.
Daddy must be awfully cold up in the room.
And Mummy must have been crazy to let Daddy bring us out here in November.
That duck or whatever Daddy said it was will come back.
I know, Lucy. And the storm will stop because we don't like it. I know.
I've got to hold on. I've got to stay here till I see the duck again. I've got to be ready to wave the shirt when I see the duck.
Vince, we can't stay out here forever.
Go on, Frame. Go on to the end of the street.
All right. but just this street.
I'm going to lie down, Lucy.
Mommy!
I've got a headache, dear.
But Mommy is coming back. The doctor's coming back. He's coming back.
What'd you say your name was? Queen. Jim Queen. You wait here, Mr. Queen. I'll be back for you in a jiffy. I can walk with you. You better wait here till I get your missus and kid out. Soldier. Yeah? God bless you.
I'm overwhelmed. It's the only word I can use. Overwhelmed.
It's almost as though the military and civilian authorities have been practicing for a disaster just like this.
Well, in a sense they have, or at least the military has. Any good military post is prepared for almost anything.
James, look around you. Lucy, you too. This is something you should always remember.
I will, Mommy.
Cots and blankets all over the auditorium. Well, more than enough for everybody. Why, there must be 200 of them.
They were sent here by the Army from Fort Monmouth, Mrs. Queen. They also supplied those lights, because the Army rushed over one of its mobile generators. I know because I saw it on the way in. Oh, hi, Preem.
Hi, Vince. You can add that half the communities in Monmouth County are being lit by Signal Corps units right now. I finally got through to Captain Ahern, and he said every P95 power unit on the post is in use. How are your patients, Vince?
Ask them yourself.
Oh, we're fine.
Is there anything I can do to help? No, thank you. The evacuation of Seabright has been completed. The wind has died down. The rain has stopped. The Queen's family says it's fine. Sable, there's only one thing left for you to do.
Yes, Sergeant?
Take my Jeep. Get over to Spring Lake as fast as you can and see how Mrs. Peters and that little life you saved are doing. Get going now, here? Furnishing electricity to the Spring Lake Hospital and evacuating more than 700 residents of Seabright were only two of the assignments given the Army men of Fort Monmouth on that wild November day in 1950. The storm was severe, and it would have been vastly more damaging had Fort Monmouth not been nearby and alerted. The Army post supplied 850 cots, 1,750 blankets, and 10 power units to 10 suffering New Jersey communities. 8 officers and 104 enlisted men participated in the community work. At Fort Monmouth itself, ranking officers remained on duty continuously for 39 consecutive hours. The Army's work in the Monmouth County storm in 1950 was another example of Army preparedness easing a civilian disaster.
A man with money to invest doesn't splurge it wildly on the first thing he sees. No, if he's wise, he looks around and then decides on a solid stock. One with a past history that's always been progressive. A stock with a real future. All right, let's say you're a young man, a high school graduate. You want to invest yourself in the best future. Well, the United States Army offers you the best opportunity for your investment. Your dividends will be high as you become a part of the world's greatest army. In travel, in schools, in scientific advancement and technology, you will reap the reward of your investment. And even more satisfying, our country will share in a mutual benefit. Visit your local recruiting station today. Invest wisely in your future with the United States Army.
This has been another program on Proudly We Hail, presented transcribed in cooperation with this station. Proudly We Hail is produced by the Recruiting Publicity Center for the United States Army and United States Air Force Recruiting Service. This is Kenneth Banghart speaking and inviting you to tune in this same station next week for another interesting story on Proudly We Hail.
Here's Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective.
Good afternoon, Mr. Diamond.
Oh, afternoon, Ed.
Have a good lunch, Mr. Diamond?
Too early to tell.
Hey, you must shave with a dull razor. You got a scratch on your face.
I use a rake.
Here's your floor, Mr. Diamond.
Thanks, Ed. Well, customers. Good afternoon, gentlemen. What can I do for...
Oh, that was nifty, Ziggy. Is that Diamond?
Yeah, Chino. That's him.
Pick him up and drag him over to the chair, Ziggy.
Sure thing, Chino. He's really odd.
Yeah. See if you can bring him around. Be a shame if he missed anything.
Chino, would you mind holding my ash can handle? It might break his jaw.
A pleasure, Ziggy.
Diamond. Diamond. He looks like he ain't gonna make it. Maybe you slapped him too hard.
You hurt me, Ziggy. You know how careful I am. Here. Try this pitcher of water.
I felt like I was lying in the middle of a crowded sink and someone had piled all the dishes on my head. They turned on the faucet and I floated up with a dirty coffee cup and took a look around. I treaded water and squinted through my dewy eyelids at two of the ugliest dishwashers I'd ever seen.
He's twitching.
Oh.
See, Ziggy, he's just lazy. Diamond, let us know when things start making sense.
Oh, that's a dirty trick.
Oh, he's talking screwy. What's a dirty trick, Diamond?
I'm stuck in the drain. I think you hit him too hard. He's liable to be talking like that from now on.
Give it time. Diamond, you'll pull yourself out.
Yeah. How did you monkeys get in here anyway?
He's back. Now go to work, Ziggy, but keep him with us.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh! That's enough, Ziggy. Can you hear me, Diamond?
He don't like it. He's going to be hard to get along with.
Belt him across the ears. He'll listen. Hear me now?
He's nodding his head. I guess he wants to keep his mouth shut so the teeth don't fall out.
Fine. Now listen, Diamond. When you get a call from a Mr. Barton, turn down the job. Understand? Ziggy, see if he's tuned in.
Oh. Yeah, you know. He says now he's got his shirt on.
Remember, Mr. Barton, you don't want to work for him. Think he gets it?
Sure, Chino, but he looks tired from the strain.
Oh. Then put him to sleep, Ziggy.
Nighty-night, Don. He didn't have to say nighty-night. It was only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He tapped me once more with a galvanized sleeping pill and tucked me away for a rest. The next thing I knew, a pair of gray suede gloves were patting my sore face. Maybe he didn't want to leave any fingerprints on my bruises.
Mr. Diamond, can you hear me?
Oh, you know, this can get monotonous. Go away.
Should I call the police, Mr. Diamond?
What? I was expecting uglier company.
Could you sit up? I'm getting some of your blood on my shoes.
That's tough. I'll turn it off. I'll bet your name's Barton.
Why, that's right. How did you know?
I'm lucky. Now get out of here.
But I want to talk to you.
I just had one long conversation, but it was too one-sided. Go on. My health is doubtful, but it's fun to have it around for company.
Maybe $500 would pick you up?
It might, for a while, but I don't like to waste that kind of money on funerals.
$750?
So they line the coffin with velvet.
1,000. You're begging to make a short life sound practical. If you do the job successfully, there'll be another 1,000. You just bought yourself a corpse. Let me wash out. Talk some more. I can hear you. It's my son, Roger. He thinks he killed a man.
He thinks. What do you want me to do? Find out for sure so I can brag about it?
Ever heard of a John Alter?
Sure. Walt Levinson sent him up 5 years ago on a manslaughter rap.
Well, he doesn't like it up there, and he'd like to get out.
I don't blame him. What's this got to do with your son?
I'm chairman of the parole board. Oh, you look much better now, Mr. Diamond. I can't stand the sight of blood.
It doesn't bother me. It happens every week. So, you're the chairman of the parole board.
Yes, some of Alter's friends promised to keep quiet about my son if I let Alter go free when he comes up before the board next week.
And you think maybe your son was framed?
Yes, about a month ago, he met a girl in Florida. Her name is Lenore Brown, and she's a friend of Alter's.
How did they spring the frame?
I beg your pardon?
You must associate with a higher type thug. Spring the frame. Made it look like your son killed somebody.
Oh. Well, when Roger, that's my son, went to pick up the Lenore girl at her apartment, he found her struggling with some man.
That happens.
It looked like he was trying to kill her. There was a gun on the floor, and she called to Roger for help. He picked up the gun and shot the man. She told Roger he had killed him and that he must get out. When we went back, they were both gone. About a month later, some of Alter's friends got in touch with me.
Oh, and they forget about the killing if you let Alter out of Sing Sing.
That's right.
I don't remember reading anything about it in the papers.
Well, you're the first one outside of Alter and his friend who know anything about it. You see, they say they're hiding the corpus delicti, so there was no report of the murder.
Keeping a sieve handy isn't that easy. Why didn't you call the law?
If my son did kill this man, that's the first thing I intend doing. But I have a feeling this man is not dead.
Oh, you think maybe they staged the killing, put blanks in the gun, and after your son beat it, the stiff walked out under his own steam?
That's what I want you to find out. If my son is innocent, I want you to bring the parties responsible to justice.
Amen.
Here's a check for $1,000. If you find the girl and prove my son innocent, there'll be another 1,000 in your pocket.
I'll sort the holes. Well, thanks, Mr. Barton. I'll start right away.
Goodbye, Mr. Diamond. You can reach me at the Wentworth Hotel. I'm staying there until this matter gets cleared up.
I won't get in touch with you unless I find something. The guys who worked me over are pretty set in their ways, and there's no sense in you tripping over a lot of dead bodies. I looked at the $1,000 check and thought about the beating the two polite gunsels had given me. It was a toss-up. If I'd spent the $1,000 like I knew I would, I'd be dead anyway. The two goons were probably still hanging around my building, and if they spotted me, they'd guess I'd taken the job. When I get more than $10 in my pocket, I smile all over. I went out the back way and through the alley. Had to start somewhere, so I headed for the 5th Precinct Police Station. When you're looking for a killer, homicide's got all the road maps on murder. An old friend and ex-partner was in charge. The men who worked the detail called him Lieutenant Levinson, but he had a couple of friends who still called him Walt. I was one of them. You earn that right when you work for a guy for 6 years. After I left the force, Walt started doing a solo, but he now had a sergeant who stumbled around after him. His name was Otis, and he had the biggest feet in the state of New York. Every time he took off his shoes, I wanted to grab a champagne bottle and launch them. I don't think he liked me. When I walked in, his face always looked like an advertisement for a sour stomach.
Well, Richard Diamond, private detective.
Well, Sergeant Otis, homicide's answer to the missing link.
What was that last word?
Well, you're half safe. I said link. Walt in?
Yeah. You turn the knob and you push.
Why don't you get that uniform clean? Some days going to get up and walk to the station without you.
Well, hello, Rick. If you got... Yeah. You must get tired changing your face every day. Somebody shove you around again?
Been catching up on my patty cake, Walt. Tell me, did you ever know a bit of fluff named Lenore Brown?
Sure, John Alder's expense account. Used to hold hands before I sent him up.
Know where I can find it?
Alder's still got her staked out. When he leaves stir, he's going to come back and dig up the claim. You better forget about it. She's got the antidote for lonely nights, but some of Alder's boys are protecting her.
I know, yeah. They gave me a pep talk this afternoon.
And then listen to them. Better watching your game from the bench.
You never can tell. I might make a score.
Well, you're outweighed, outclassed, and liable to be outlived. She used to work at the Black Swan in Florida. I heard Alder was trying to get a parole, and she came to New York to be close to him.
Any lying on her here in town?
No, but if she's seeing Alder, you might spot her on a business day. And now, look, Rick, why don't you stop chasing two-bit thugs and come back on the force? I never had noticed this when we were working together.
You know how I feel about that, Walt. I'm a restless guy.
Sometimes I like to sleep late in the morning.
Okay, Rick. Want me to call the warden and tell him you're coming?
Yeah, thanks, Walt. Take it easy.
Bye, Rick. Be a good boy.
Yes, Paul?
Mr. Richard Diamond to see you, Warden.
Oh, send him in.
You can go on in, Mr. Diamond. Thanks, Paul.
Well, Rick, how are you? It's been a long time.
I know a lot of guys who wouldn't like to hear that, Warden. How are you, Jim?
That's right. What's on your mind?
I hear Johnny Alter's been having company. I'd like to take a look at her.
Oh, Miss Brown. Well, I can't blame you.
I just want to spot her and see where she goes.
You can't miss. If she walked through the yard, there'd be a jailbreak tomorrow.
What time are visiting hours?
Well, if she's seeing Alter today, she should be downstairs right now. Pardon me a second.
Yes, Warden.
Paul, has Lenore Brown come in today?
Yes, she has, Warden. She's in seeing Alter right now.
Thanks, Paul. She's downstairs, Rick. Like to take a look?
Yeah.
I'll have Paul take you down. On second thought, I'll go myself. There she is, sitting at the end table talking to Alder.
Oh. Now I know why Alter needs a lot of money. She's wearing enough mink to carpet Radio City.
You should get a load of her on a warm day.
Coat doesn't stop me. She'd show up, even if she's wearing a tent. How long has she got with Alder?
About another 5 minutes.
Warden, maybe I'll let you put me away for a couple of years. With something like that to look forward to on Visitor's Day, I might go for the change.
Well, you'd get tired of just talking. Think what you could do on the outside.
Yeah, I am, but it would probably send me right back up here.
You want to stick around till she's through talking?
Thanks, Jim. I'll wait in front till she comes out. I hung around by the big gray buildings until she came out. She walked over to a long white convertible and got in. Now I know what the guy meant when he wrote, "Ask the man who owns one." I decided to let her buy me a new fuse, and I walked over to the car. Going to town?
Oh? Back up 3 feet and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Your tailor couldn't do all of that.
Thanks.
Get in. Visiting?
Yeah, the warden's an old friend.
How many years did you know him?
Baby. I've been going home every night all my life.
Every night?
Well, almost.
What do you do with the almost?
Depends. Everybody likes something different.
You must get tired thinking up new ideas.
Oh, I don't think much. It's more fun being surprised. Hey, what are you stopping for? We just got started.
Surprise?
Oh, yeah. And a nickel-plated one. Look, baby, you don't have to pull a gun. If I'm getting fresh, I'll get out and walk.
You'll sit right there, Diamond.
Oh, name dropper.
Mm-hmm.
Expecting company?
Mm-hmm, and you've met them before, honey.
That's nice. I wouldn't want you to get stuck with the introductions. That's your friends coming along in that car?
It should be. Now hold real still. They'll only shoot you this time.
Sometimes you're lucky. When a dame's got a gun on you, you don't stand much of a chance unless she's got her mind on something else. This one did. And when she looked up in the rearview mirror to make sure it was her boys, I tagged her. My 2 playmates were just pulling up in the green sedan when I went out of the car like a dry transmission.
There he is. He's slightly enough. Nail it.
He let go just as I dived off the side of the road and hit the center embankment. I rolled at the bottom and came up looking like an exhibit for smallpox.
He's down the hill. Go get him, Ziggy.
There was a line of trees just off to the right, and I got to them just as Ziggy tried again. He needed a rifle. I was running through the trees then, and I could hear Ziggy somewhere behind me falling all over himself. I pulled my gun and thought about waiting for him. I could give him so many holes he'd whistle in a high wind, but I had another idea. I stopped and listened.
He's around here somewhere. Well, come on. We'll spread out.
That tore it right down the middle. They were somewhere behind me, and both of them were looking.
Get off of me, you millionaire. Get off. I got on a new suit. Oh, my deepest apologies, Gino. I thought you was Diamond. Can't you tell the difference, Ziggy? He's got on a blue suit. Oh, I'm a little colorblind. Now let's find Diamond.
They started hunting again, and I cut off to my left and headed back to the highway. I reached the hill that sloped down from the highway, and I went up fast.
The cars were about 100 yards down the road, and I used my last lung getting there. Lenore was still out, just like I'd left her when I put her to sleep. I went over to the Gunsel's car and lifted the hood. Chino and Ziggy could apologize all night while they looked for a new distributor. I went back to the white convertible with the unconscious nylons and got in. I noticed something lying on the seat. It was her purse, and she didn't wake up when I grabbed it. Doing a rummage job at 80 miles an hour isn't easy. But there wasn't much of interest anyway, just a little black book. I needed a gimmick, so I stuck it in my pocket. I put the purse back on the seat just as she started coming around. Well, now that's it, baby. Sit up and look at the pretty scenery.
How did you get here? Where's Ziggy and Chino?
Playing Peter Pan. Jaw hurt?
Yes, you heal.
Play rough and you get hurt. Where do I take you?
My apartment, I guess. You're going to ask a lot of questions, and I don't talk much. We might as well figure out something to fill in the lull.
I drove to her place on East 51st and walked her to the door. She looked at me like a fat woman eyeing a French pastry, and her mouth slipped down to her shoelaces when I gave her a peck on the cheek and left her standing with an old front doorknob in her hand. I knew she wasn't going to spill anything, even if I got her drunk. Besides, she could probably drink Tony Galeno under the table and still be sober enough to play hopscotch. I went back to the office and took out her little black book. There were a lot of names, and some of them I knew. Chino, and after it, likes his work. And Ziggy, and after his name, has own gun. Yeah, Richard Diamond, too. I never did figure out what the 3 stars were for. I forgot all about my date with Helen when the phone rang. Yeah?
Hello, Rick. Well, Fong will call Mr. Richard Diamond to the phone chop-chop. He's got a date, and she doesn't like being stood up.
Hello, Helen.
Hi. What was all that about? Forget you had a date with me?
Yeah, I did. And I'm sorry, baby, but right now I'm being chased like a hopped-up fox, and I haven't had time to curl up and relax.
You're impossible.
I know it. Want your sorority pen back?
Well, I'll make up my mind when you get here.
I'll give you my Lone Ranger magic decoder.
You fool.
Are we still going steady?
Oh, yes. Rick, when am I going to see you?
Honey, right now I got some reading to do. Why don't you go to a movie? Little Women past the census. I'll be over later.
I'll probably end up marrying an usher. Don't be too late, Rick.
I won't. Besides, we get along better early in the morning.
Bye.
Bye, baby. I sat there for a minute thinking about Helen Asher and wondering why I hadn't learned how to butter my bread. She was everything a guy should want. $10 million playing multiplication in a fat trust fund. A figure that would snarl of any quiet intersection. And a mind that would give a master's degree in inferiority complex. Diamond, you fool, you. Well, Lenore Brown's little black book was a poor substitute for an evening with Helen, but 3 items put me in second gear. They weren't hard to find. Take out all the men's names, and there they were, 3 addresses. One was in the village, another in Harlem, and the last was somewhere in Chinatown. All of them were a setup for a dead man who wanted to make himself scarce. I wanted to talk with Barton before I started hunting, so I called the Wentworth.
Wentworth Hotel?
Mr. Barton, please.
Yes, sir. I'll ring him.
Hello?
Mr. Barton, this is Diamond.
Oh, yes, Diamond. Did you find out anything yet?
Not yet, but tell me, did your son tell you what his victim looked like?
Why, yes. He said he was a dark man with a scar from his nose to his chin. He said he'd never forget it.
Oh, well, thanks. Maybe I'll call you tomorrow.
I hope you clear this thing up in a hurry.
So do I. I want to get my nerves untangled. I took the easy address first, grabbed a cab, and 20 minutes later I was walking down the steps of a little dive on the east side of Greenwich Village. It was a shabby little place, and the customers had enough long hair to give a two-pay deal to the DTs. A fat waiter walked over and eyed my clean shirt. He was wearing an apron that looked like he'd made the salad on it. He was swell. You wanted something, Mac? Yeah, a pound of egg noodles. Just sweep them up off the floor. Do you know anyone named Lenore?
Lenore. Oh, sure, Lenore Brown. Hey,
She comes in here about once a week, listens to the kid at the piano. Now, why would a classy dame like that go out with him? He don't play the piano so good.
You ever see a guy with her? Dark man with a scar from his nose to his chin?
No. She always does a single.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Hey, you still want those noodles?
I walked out, got back in the cab, and marked off Greenwich Village in the little black book. The second address was on the fringe of Harlem, the Hill, they call it. The night was black, and the fog had rolled in off the East River and staked out a claim all the way to Lenox Avenue. As I walked up to the old brownstone, my nerves started screaming SOS. I stopped cold and looked down at two gleaming eyes, like two pieces of polished glass shining in the glare of the dim street lamp. As I got used to the darkness, I could make him out. He was a big, white, battle-scarred bulldog, and he had some ideas of his own. He started shuffling in slowly, jerking back his lips and showing a row of white teeth.
Hold it, Lucifer.
I hadn't heard him come out on the porch. He was a big man wearing an off-white undershirt, and from what I could see, he looked meaner than his dog. The animal stopped, but he kept facing me, showing off his toothpaste smile.
You won't hurt you, mister. Unless I tell him to.
I'll think about it for a while. I'm a poor substitute for horse meat.
What do you want?
Do you know a Lenore Brown?
You a cop?
Shamus.
Beat it, Lucifer.
Thanks, pal. I couldn't hold my breath much longer.
You can come up on the porch. You're looking for Lenore Brown, huh?
Yeah, know her?
I met her. My wife works for her.
Is your wife in?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Come here. Some private dick wants to talk to you. She's Miss Brown's private maid.
Yeah.
Your husband tells me you work for Miss Brown.
Yeah, what's she done?
She got many friends?
Men friends.
No. You know a dark man with a scar?
Oh, sure, I know lots of them.
What are you talking about, woman?
Oh, I met someone who Miss Brown knows.
What did you mean by that, mister?
Look, I really don't know anybody with a scar. Now you better beat it.
Yeah. Get moving. And I want to talk to you, woman. Get in there.
Yes, honey.
I knew she was going to get bruised, but he looked rough enough to cut my windpipe, and I wanted someplace to pour my coffee down in the morning. So I got out of there fast and headed for the last address in the little black book. The place was on one of those narrow, dark streets. It was so quiet you could hear yourself change your mind. A sign above the door read Tangy, so I pushed it open and went in. If I didn't find a man with a scar here, I was out on strikes. It was a little restaurant on the bottom floor of a two-story building. A quiet waiter slipped up and showed me to a booth. He shoved the menu in my hand and disappeared before I could ask him anything. The place was empty except for an old couple sitting near the door. The waiter said something to them, and they looked quickly over at me, and then they left in a hurry. The room was completely empty now. Even the waiter had disappeared. I looked up at a flight of stairs at the far end of the room. A pair of very healthy ankles came into view, and they were holding up a pair of legs that ran my blood pressure up to 190 again. I eased my gun out and held it under the table. Lenore turned the corner and started down toward my booth like a loose snake in a rabbit pen.
Mind if I sit down?
It's your party.
Shame on you. Don't you know it's not nice to pilfer a lady's handbag? Now, Mama will have to thank.
Looks like the last address paid off.
If you're buying shrouds, it did.
Where's the guy that young Barton was supposed to have killed?
Upstairs. But he's very unsociable. Hates long conversations.
I only need a couple of lines.
He can't even do that. He likes to keep on breathing.
Old man Barton figures Alter framed his son. He's not going to let your boyfriend out of Sing Sing until he finds a man with a scar.
Think he can do better than you did?
Well, I found him.
Was it worth dying for?
I don't know. I can tell you better after I talk to him.
Mama's going to have to spank sooner than she expected. Come in, boys.
Well, look who's here. Are Mama's two big idiots out collecting blood again? Where are your buckets?
Oh, he's bitter.
President!
You've met Chino and Ziggy before, haven't you?
Yeah, on the end of a fist.
They want to show you the town.
I know the beat.
I'll bet you've never seen it from the bottom of the East River.
No, but if you'll put on a bathing suit, I might buy the idea.
Too bad we'll never make the beach together. I'd like to show you the sights. Boys, you better help Mr. Diamond out of the booth. I think he's stuck. You know how it is. The boys like to keep moving.
So do I. I shot once and caught Ziggy in the stomach, and I dumped the table over on Chino. He grabbed like he was going to waltz with it. I didn't even have to get up. I just shot him through the cover shot. Lenora was out of the booth fast and running for the stairs.
Look out, Tony, look out!
I caught up with her at the foot of the stairs, and as she started up, I saw him, standing on the upper landing, scar and all meaning gun in his hand. He missed me, but nailed her halfway up. She spun around and fell all over me. But I point a gun pretty good from the prone position. You should have kept your nose up, mister. A bad landing washes you out. I called Lieutenant Levinson, squared myself. Then homicide came down and cleaned things up. They were all dead, and I figured I never would reach the beach anyway. I phoned Barton, who took his son down to the morgue to look over the night's take. Young Barton identified the man with the scars, the one he thought he'd killed. They gave me the notch, and I made another call. This time to a pair of silk pajamas with an understanding heart. It was late, but I was hungry.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Diamond. Isn't it rather late to be calling?
You know something? You're right, Francis. It's 2 a.m. Time for all good butlers to be bedded by.
Miss Helen is in the library, but I'm not sure whether she wants to see you.
Well, you just run along and get some sleep. I'll find out and let you know.
Very good, sir. Confidentially, she's a little peeved.
Look.
Chin up, Mr. Diamond.
Francis, if she gets tough with me, I'll knock her teeth out.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Francis, is that who I think it was? Oh.
Hi.
The food was cold a long time ago.
So's my date. I'm sorry, honey.
Oh, that's all right.
The fire's almost burned out.
It's 2:00 in the morning, Mr. Diamond. I've sat through 2 features of Tom and Jerry and the 4th chapter of Batman, Hops of Freight.
Ah, come on, don't scold, baby.
I haven't in weeks, but I've been rehearsing this for the past 2 hours, and you're going to listen. And that's another thing. You never play when I want you to. Only when I've got you on the carpet.
That sounds like fun.
Now, stop being glib. If you think for 1 minute you can charm me into...
Powder your face with the sunshine. Put on a great big smile.
Now, stop that and listen to me.
Okay, I'll shut up. Well, go on.
No. Now you've made me forget what I was going to say.
Well, if you can't remember, honey, hold a good thought.
It's a big, wide, wonderful world you live in. When you're in love, you're a master. Of all you survey, you're a gay Santa Claus.
I just remembered.
Too late now, honey. I'm rolling.
There's a brave new star-spangled sky above you. When you're in love, you're a hero, a Nero, Apollo, the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, Rick, how do you do it?
You've a kingdom, power and glory.
Mr. Diamond, starring Dick Powell, was previously released over the National Broadcasting Company for listeners in the United States and has been re-released to you men and women overseas by the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
Crime does not pay.
You're crazy, Charlie. Plain, ordinary, and completely nuts.
If it was a dame, but an old man.
Save it, both of you. Old Joe's done all right by me. Sure. But not half so good like you could do for yourself. Just what do you monkeys get out of all this?
You get bigger, we get bigger.
Okay, so what? We're doing fine. I ain't ditching the old man. Look, Charlie, the old geezer knew his way around 20 years ago. Not no more. His number's going to go up. Next thing, your number goes up, too.
I ain't so sure about that. Old Joe can take care of himself.
And when he can't no more, then I'm going to do the job for him. Now lay off, understand? I don't want to talk no more about it. That's an order.
In the interest of good citizenship and law enforcement, we present Crime Does Not Pay, based on the famous Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer series of short subjects. In just a moment, you will hear Heir Apparent, starring Philip Reed. Now, Crime Does Not Pay, starring Philip Reed as Charlie Kenmore in Heir Apparent. The restaurant seemed highly disreputable. Perhaps it was the dingy neighborhood, the weary brownstone houses. The basement of one of them was the location of the restaurant. There was a dim electric sign over the area entrance. The windows with the elaborately twisted iron grills designed to keep prowlers out were dim also, gray with dirt. But inside, the glassware shone, the silver twinkled on the beautifully white tablecloths. And the food, for those who knew, was directly from heaven. Heaven, in this case, was the immaculate kitchen in the rear of the basement. Here, Charlie Kenmore found a job as a busboy. Here, Charlie learned many things, principally through his habit of asking questions.
Who's the dope at table 4?
You mean you don't know?
All I know is he eats himself stupid. He never goes home. Who is he?
That is a man who knows how to live, not like us.
Yeah, but what's he do for a living?
He sits here, eats.
Yeah, this I know, but who is he?
Joe Malden.
Never heard of him.
You ain't been around long, huh?
Why, he famous?
For 30 years.
For what? For liking good food?
For that, yes. Also, for policy.
Ah, quit talking in riddles.
The numbers are racket. Joe Malden, king of the numbers, for 30 years.
For the love of Mike.
Busboy.
Yes, sir. I want to hear more about this. Yes, sir, Mr. Malden.
Oh, you're new here. You know my name?
Yes, sir. Can I get you something, Mr. Malden?
Why do you know my name?
Well, I asked.
Why did you ask?
I noticed, sir, you eat carefully.
Carefully? How do you mean that? Like I might get myself poisoned?
Oh, no, sir, no, sir. Like you knew what you wanted. And like you enjoy it when you get it.
Smart boy. I like you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I need some more butter. And about 3 more slices of bread.
Yes, sir, right away. King of the numbers, huh? That's the business of betting on numbers?
Yeah, why?
I think I'm going to try my luck.
You lose your shirt. Nobody wins.
Nobody, huh? How about him? You don't pay his dinner check losing on the numbers. Butter and bread. Maybe I got an angle for butter on my bread. Yes, Mr. Malden, can I get you something?
No. Sit down, Charlie.
Sit down? Well, but I'll get fired.
Maybe you'll get a better job.
I like this one. I get dinner here. The food's great. The wine, too.
Well, then all your life you don't want to spend hopping tables. Sit down.
Yes, sir.
Well, I've been watching you, my boy.
Me, sir?
You knew it. That's what I like. You knew I was watching you. I think you wanted me to. I like the way you found out about the racket and didn't play it. You're smart.
The playing in, that's the suckers.
Very simple, very correct. Charlie, you want a job with me?
With you, Mr. Malden?
I said it. One of my runners has an accident. Funny. He gets too rich too quick for a runner. Also, my accountant says that particular district, it shows a drop in income. The runner has an accident. You want the job? It's open.
Well, gee, Mr. Malden.
Wait a minute, my boy. I think this fellow comes to see me.
Oh, you want I should...
No. Sit still.
Well, I thought I'd find you here, Malden.
Lieutenant Garrison, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Racket squad, eh? Sit down, Lieutenant. Join me. The lieutenant and I have known each other many, many years, Johnny.
Thanks for the invitation, Malden. I've had my dinner. Ham sandwich and a cup of coffee.
What horrible things the law does to its stomach.
Save it, Malden. You're in trouble.
Me? Impossible. With all this good food? Impossible.
No, not quite. One of your boys is dead. His stomach is full, too. Of lead.
Oh, my. Which one?
I think you know which one.
Why? Try a piece of this veal, Garrison, straight from...
They serve veal upstate, too, Malden. Without sauce.
Perhaps that's why I've always stayed downstate, Lieutenant.
Well, I think you know which one of your boys got it, Malden. Because I think you gave it to him.
When did he get it, Lieutenant?
Last night, around 9.
Well, then it's impossible. I never start dinner until 8, and no civilized person takes less than 2 hours with food like this.
Malden, you're the only man I've ever known who eats his way to alibis.
Will you join me, Lieutenant?
And find myself an alibi? No, thanks, Malden. But look, you might as well know it. We've got a pretty good idea how that runner was taken care of. The job was very close to a mistake. Someday you're going to make that mistake. We'll be waiting. Good night, Malden.
Good night, Lieutenant. Come to dinner sometime. Nice man. With an ulcer growing. He eats badly.
A cop, a nice man?
Live and let live, Charlie. For 10 years he's been after me. For 10 years I've been after him. To eat properly. I won't have that trouble with you.
Oh, not with me, boss.
You take the job?
Yes, on one condition.
You make condition?
Only one. That once a week at least you let me eat with you.
Done. It's a pleasure to hire a young man who understands the joys of living.
Okay, Wiggs, you want to work for me or don't you?
Sure, Charlie, sure. Why not? You going in for yourself?
Old Joe's let me have the West Territory.
Don't he, like you no more?
Oh, Joe thinks I'm great.
And why's he giving you the West Side? Don't they know Max Rush was moving in on that?
I see Max. He's in off.
Hey, you do all right.
I got a good teacher. Old Joe's system's been working for 30 years. No deals, just warnings.
You warned Max Rush? You're kidding.
Am I? Funny how his car was full of bullet holes the other night when he come out of his dame's place. Yeah, Max took that to heart, he did. He's laying off. Like old Joe says, sometimes the old-fashioned way is the best.
Charlie, you gotta listen to Rolly. You gotta.
Okay, I'm listening.
I ran into Max Rush today. He gave me a message.
Keep talking.
Max says the syndicate's moving in on this town.
How does he know?
He's already made a deal. Told me I should tell you. They talked to old Joe, and Joe turned them down. That's war, Charlie. Means the end of us along with Joe.
You want I should throw in with the syndicate? And Max?
We got no choice, Charlie. We got no choice.
They let us keep the territory. We collect on everything, not only numbers. And we give them a piece, and everybody comes out ahead. But if we don't play, it's a ditch and a gut full of lead.
No, nothing doing. I don't rat on the old man.
You're crazy, Charlie. Plain, ordinary, and completely nuts.
If it was a dame, but the old man...
I'll save it, both of you. Old Joe's done all right by me. I ain't ditching the old man.
Look, Charlie, the old geezer knew his way around 20 years ago. Not no more. His number's going to go up. Next thing, your number's going to go up, too.
I ain't so sure about that. Old Joe can take care of himself. And when he can't no more, then I'm going to do the job for him.
Now lay off, understand? I don't want to talk no more about it. That's an order.
Yeah?
Company, Charlie.
Who is it, Wiggs?
Max Rush.
well. What do you know?
Should I send him in?
No, bring him in. Anybody with him?
One gorilla.
Okay. Rory stays outside with the gorilla. You come in with Maxie.
Check. All right, Mr. Rush. Rory, stay out here. Keep Mr. Rush's friends company.
I got you. You don't take chances, do you, Kenmore?
Not if I can help it.
Well, you can help one chance you're taking.
This a warning?
You gave me one some time ago. Just returning a friendly gesture.
Keep talking, Rush.
I'm in with the syndicate. How'd you know that?
So?
It's occurred to me, when the old man dies, well, you're his heir apparent. Like they say about the sons of real kings.
Maybe I am.
And you want to live after the old man dies.
I expect to.
It's not that way on the syndicate's timetable.
Oh? What is on their schedule?
Both of you. You got an out, the old man ain't.
Nice of them. What's my out?
You show your good faith, you take care of the old man.
Somebody's nuts in this room, and it ain't me.
Maybe, maybe not. Just bear it in mind, kid. The order's out. Kenmore gets the old man and makes a good deal, or we get the old man and Kenmore. Simple. Like ABC. Or a slug in the gut. Make up your mind, Kenmore, and make it up fast.
In just a moment, Crime Does Not Pay will continue with Heir Apparent. Now we continue with Crime Does Not Pay, starring Philip Reed as Charlie Kenmore in Heir Apparent. The pressure was on Charlie Kenmore. Make no mistake about that. His two pals, Wiggs Snyder and Rolly Auburn, could see no sense in sticking with old Joe Malden and made no bones about their feelings. Charlie checked around and discovered the truth of Max Rush's warning. Charlie had no peace. He could not make up his mind, but he knew he had a decision to make. He knew the power he was dealing with. Charlie tried to forget what was on his mind by having a beautiful dinner with old Joe.
Cigar, my boy?
No, thanks, Joe. But cigarette, if it won't bother you.
Have your cigarette. For me, a dinner's not a dinner without a good cigar. And extra coffee. Waiter?
You know, it was a good dinner tonight.
Our host is learning. Soon he'll get so many customers, we'll have to find another place.
Hot coffee, Mr. Malden.
Well, you read my mind.
Well, the boss, he says everybody's going home. It's after 10. On the stove, coffee the way Mr. Malden likes it. In the cashier's desk, pinochle cards. Here they are, Mr. Malden.
You see, Charlie, what it means to be a regular customer?
Do we close up the joint, too?
Oh, no, sir. I have the key. I'll wait. When you go, I'll go.
Very good. You don't mind too much?
No, sir. I get overtime pay and also good tip.
So everybody wins. Very good. I'll call you when we need more coffee.
Very good, sir.
Hey, two-handed, Charlie?
Yeah, why not? It's almost 10:30.
Cut for deal.
Go ahead, you deal. I'll pour the coffee.
Well, then.
Hold the game a minute, Joe. I got to see a man.
With George. I know.
Back in a minute, Joe.
Good. Good copy. Oh. Wiggs, Raleigh. You want Charlie? He'll be right back.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, sorry, but it's got to be.
The syndicate.
No. Charlie! Charlie!
Charlie, come on. Okay, like I told you.
We told him the syndicate. Let's go.
That guy's got to live. He was an old man. He was through anyway. But we young. Hey, did you get the waiter?
What waiter?
You didn't? Why, you four-star stupid. I told you the waiter. Quick, the kitchen.
There's nobody here. Not a soul.
He must have left. It's okay. Okay. Why, there's a witness loose. That waiter was here. I ought to give it to both of you.
Now, easy, Charlie. He couldn't have seen nothing.
We'll find him for you. We'll get him. Of all the dumb. Don't you know yet you've got to check for witnesses? Now find them here and put them away. That's an order. So now let's scram.
Like I told the lieutenant here, sir, I seen him come in and pull their guns, and then I scrammed, but fast.
You didn't see the killing?
No, sir. I want to live, sir.
You can't blame him for that, sir.
No, I guess not. But it doesn't give me much to go to trial with, even after you pick up the men.
But seen him pull the guns.
I know, but they'll have a good defense attorney. He'll say, how does my distinguished colleague, the district attorney, know that these men did not put the guns away again? After all, they'd worked with Joe Malden for some time. It might have been a practical joke.
Some joke.
Well, nobody'd believe that.
A jury might. And legally, there should be a corroborating witness.
But I seen him.
Sorry, but stay in town.
What?
You heard the district attorney, Mr. Hunter. Stay in town.
I can't.
Why not?
You have business out of town?
Me, a waiter? I got no business in town. They know I was there. Charlie Kenmore knows I was there. You'll get me killed. You make me stay in this town.
Sorry, Mr. Hunter. Leave your address at the desk, and thank you for coming in.
But you got to...
I said we were sorry, Mr. Hunter. Good day.
Okay, you said. But I'm the guy on the spot, that's all.
All right, Lieutenant.
Sergeant, man leaving here now. 24-hour tail. Reports every hour. Got that? Good.
It'll be a little tough on Mr. Hunter's nerves.
He'll be all right. Nothing will happen to him.
He'll try changing his job, but they'll find him.
And we'll find them. Too bad. Joe Malden. Funny. King of the numbers racket. I always hoped I'd get him before the syndicate did. Am I getting soft, sir, or just a little old?
Okay, so you didn't find him yet. Where'd you look?
The restaurant, boss. Cased the neighborhood, too.
That's all?
He never came back.
Oh, I make a deal. I spend my time making you guys rich. We got a better deal in the territory than ever. And while I'm working for you, you can't even find a bum like that waiter for me.
Well, it's a big town, boss.
Sorry, Charlie. No time to be sorry. Joe never wasted time being sorry. He just sent flowers. Okay, find that waiter or you'll have flowers, both of you, that you ain't going to be able to smell.
What you want us to do? We're only two guys.
All right, maybe you got a reason there. We got a big outfit now. Well, we'll set it up. Give me the classified phone book.
What do you want that?
Give me it. Here. Okay. Get the address of every restaurant in the dumpy parts of town. Put one of our men on every one of the meeting joints. Give them a description of this witness like I give it to you. They got to tail him, see? Find out where he holds up. When we know where he lives, we'll move in, and he'll move out. Yeah?
We found him, Charlie. He's working in a joint on South Mitford.
What shift?
Night shift. He gets off around 10. Same as the joint you and the old man used to eat in. Only the food ain't so good.
You go in?
Not when he was there.
Okay, that's better. You sure he didn't get wise?
Sure.
Okay, then. Tonight, tail him. And don't lose him. Understand? Yeah?
He lives at 509 West Fulton.
You sure?
Well, he went in. He didn't come out.
How about the back way?
Weeks covered that.
The roof?
Look, he don't know he's being tailed. Anyway, Weeks saw him getting ready for bed through the window.
No slips this time?
You can give it to me personal if this ain't the truth.
Okay. Get Wiggs. Come on in. We got plans to make. You case the joint top to bottom?
Sure, boss.
It ain't much. Real joint.
Like you was born in?
You and me both.
Okay. And there's a dirty backyard with wash lines, a staircase that stinks from year-old cabbage, a front door with a buzzer, and a trap door to the roof. Check?
Double check. You sure remember.
So I remember. What's his place? Where is it?
3rd floor rear. He rents a back room in one of them railroad flats.
And we got the family there to worry about.
Every Thursday night, they all go to the movies together. He's alone till after 11.
Good. Thursday night.
Hey, you sure jimmied the front door neat, Charlie?
That's a cinch. Been doing it since I was a kid. Nothing to it. Ask Rolly.
Easy. Just a penknife. You ain't got a knife, you ring somebody's bell. Only not on a job like this.
Nowadays we can afford knives.
3rd floor coming up.
I can count 2. Careful now. Don't want to wake the neighbors.
Hey, where you going? Back door's this way.
That'll open on the kitchen. We'll use the front door in case the apartment while we're at it.
Quiet now.
Flashlight?
Right here.
This door's nothing to it. Slip the blade of the knife in. Work it back and forth. Easy line. There it is. Not even a chain to worry about. Shut the door, Wiggs. Quiet now. Remember, no guns. A slit throat is just as good and quieter.
Nobody here.
Except us mice. Shut up. You hear breathing? No, guess not. Long hall. Middle room. Kitchen there. They got a chain in that door. Our pigeon's room will be here. Hey, waiter, wake up.
What? No, I didn't talk. Hey, you're all right, Hunter. We got him.
Let go, you dirty copper.
Hey, you want some of that Kenmore? Snyder. Harrison.
I should have known. It was too easy. You guys were planted here all the time.
Gee, I'm glad you got here.
You heard me breathing down the hall, Kenmore, but I held my breath in time. You shouldn't have bumped off, Joe, kid. He was good to you in his way.
You can't pin that on me. I wasn't there. Not even this bum can put me there.
I know, but you tried to get Hunter yourself. An attempted murder is as good as the other in this state. Take him away, boys, and take Hunter with you. From now on, he's a material witness, and we'll keep him where he's really safe.
Crime does not pay. Philip Reed, who was starred as Charlie Kenmore in Heir Apparent, will be back with you in just a moment.
The National Broadcasting Company presents Counterspy.
calling David Harding, Counterspy. Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Harding, Counterspy, calling Washington.
United States Counterspies, especially appointed to investigate and combat the enemies of our country, both at home and abroad.
Tonight's Counterspy report to the American people is brought to you in cooperation with the New York State Civil Defense Commission.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Baltimore and to the national headquarters of Super America Incorporated. And here is the chairman of Super America Incorporated, Henry Harrison Hector.
I have called this emergency meeting of you, our key Super America leaders from all over the country, to discuss the new crisis confronting our nation. The possibility of attack from the air by conventional means and, we fear, atomic bombs. All over the country, citizens are rallying to their local civil defense organizations. But as in every crisis, everything cannot be left to government officials. It is up to us, Super Americans, to provide leadership. Wherever patriotic work is to be done, there you must see a Super American. Should disaster strike from the skies, it will be our Super American task to form the very backbone of civil defense.
You're right.
I see that you all understand. Presently, my secretary, Della Crane, will hand you your individual assignment sheets. We must make the civil defense of the United States our great objective. Thank you for your attention.
Very good speech, Mr. Hector.
I'll be sorry to lose you, Della. Are you sure you and Steve will be happy in Finnsburg?
No, but I'll do my best. Steve's already been out there, found an apartment and a job.
The bonds between Super Americans are very strong.
Better excuse me, Mr. Hector. I've got to give out the assignment sheet.
By all means, Della. Give us just a few weeks, and I think we Super Americans will turn civil defense into civil collapse.
Well, let's continue, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? As you know, my name is Blair. I'm the zone director. I'm very happy to see so many new volunteers here tonight. During this week, I expect to make the final assignments. Aircraft spotters, communications helpers, medical aid helpers, and so on. I feel that by the end...
Mr. Blair, may I ask a question?
Why, certainly, Mr. Crane.
Well, do I understand you correctly that assignments haven't all been made yet?
Well, that's right, Mr. Crane. Most of the time so far has been spent in planning. Does that cover your question?
Well, yes, I guess so. For now, anyway.
As I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, most of the time has been spent in planning, from the top down. We get our overall plans from the National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington, then through our state director, down through our city director here in Finnsburg. Now, since this particular zone covers the most important industrial section of the city, this building is the main control center for the entire city. Now, are there any radio hams among you? Amateur radio operators?
Yes, well, I know.
2, 3, 4. 4, that's fine. After the meeting, will you please report to Mr. Avery? That's Mr. Avery over by the window. You'll become the nucleus of a special squad to go right to the scenes of any disasters and report back by radio. Now, the next Yes, Mr. Crane?
Say, Mr. Blair, I'm new here, and maybe I oughtn't to open my yap, but Say, would you mind if I come right up front there so everybody can hear me?
No, not at all. Come right ahead.
I just take this whole thing so darn serious. Well, folks, my name's Steve Crane, and I just hit this fine city of yours today, and boy, from what I've seen so far, I'm going to be mighty happy about it. Yes, sir. Well, I've been sitting and listening to the interesting things Mr. Blair's been outlining, and I'm here to say that everything sounds great. The only trouble is, and I don't know just what we can do about it, the trouble is not much is definite. So much is still in the planning stage, you know what I mean?
Well, Mr. Crane, I might explain to you.
I know you can't just do things without planning. We're all intelligent enough to know that, but here's what bothers me. Suppose somebody drops a bomb on us tomorrow. Where are we? Hiding our heads under a plan? No, I hate to criticize, and I don't want any of you to think that's what I'm doing, but holy smoke, what's been going on here since the trouble started in Korea way back in June?
Mr. Crane, I think you ought to realize
that I know these things take time, but we got to work faster or nothing's any good. Being almost ready is like not being ready at all. Holy smoke, we'd all be better off getting out of the city. Now, what do you say we all...
Mr. Crane, please. I understand that to a newcomer like yourself, it may seem we've done very little. But I don't want anybody here to forget the enormous amount of work that's been done. Why...
Sure, Mr. Blair, I'm right behind you. And like I said, I don't want to talk out of turn, but I don't want anybody to kid themselves. How much time do you think we've got?
Ladies and gentlemen, please. Please, let's have some order and discipline here. Ladies and gentlemen, please.
To Counterspy headquarters from District 3, City 9. Local civil defense moving very slowly here lately. State Director believes people generally unaware of real danger. This field office lending personnel to step up recruiting.
To Counterspy headquarters from District 19, City 3. Civil defense here at virtual standstill. Volunteers not carrying out assigned duties. This field office consulting with director. Will advise.
And we've been getting them like that from various spots all over the country, Mr. Hunting.
Strange. Sort of a sudden paralysis.
The National Director of Civil Defense thinks that people just don't realize the danger.
I wonder. Well, people are all talking about the danger of war, of a sudden atomic attack. 2 days ago, I was in Ohio. It's a live subject there. Same in New York, on the West Coast, everywhere. Tremendous interest. All of a sudden, according to these reports, it dies out.
You're right back at the beginning, Chief. People just don't realize...
Peters, I'm not one of those who blames the people every time something goes wrong. Not until I'm sure nothing else is wrong. Peters, how many of our agents are now unassigned in the first classification?
Oh, maybe 10 or a dozen.
Well, good. Get those men together tonight here in my office. You be here, too.
I see you've got a scheme.
Yes, that's right. Now, from all these reports, we're going to pick out the localities having the most trouble. Then you fellows are going into those cities undercover to join the civil defense groups as ordinary citizens to find out, if you can, what's wrong.
And, frankly, I must admit, ladies and gentlemen, I've had to turn in a disappointing report to City Defense Headquarters. No, not about you who are here, but about those who've been dropping out. And so tonight, I've got to ask you to get in touch with everyone you know. Find out why they seem so uninterested in what we're doing here. And
say, Mr. Blair.
Yes, Mr. Crane.
I can tell you right now what's eating everybody. I mean, those who aren't here.
Oh, can you?
I've talked to lots of people trying to get them in here to work, and they all say, what's the use? Nothing's ready. We're not getting the help we need from Washington. And I tell them, well, it's up to us, too.
Excuse me, please.
Yes?
If you'll allow me to interrupt the other speaker.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Well, I agree with what he says. People just don't have any faith in the civil defense outfits. Now, my name is Peterson. I've just come to Finnsburg. I'm a reporter on the Finnsburg Press. And let me tell you, we're helpless. And I just don't see any point in continuing...
Excuse me, Mr. Peterson, but I don't see any point in discouraging ourselves. And that's what we're doing, some of us. Oh, it's intended to help, I know.
Well, if you're just trying to protect a bunch of Washington incompetents, Mr. Blair, I don't see why...
I'm protecting no one, Mr. Peterson. We're all trying to protect ourselves. All right, that's all for tonight. I'll see you all and more, I hope, on Friday.
Say, Peterson. Peterson.
Yeah?
My name's Steve Crane. I'm the guy you cut in on.
Oh. Well, I hope you weren't sore, huh?
Oh, no, on the contrary. Glad to see somebody else here with the nerve to talk up. Say, are you busy the rest of the evening?
No.
You and me seem to agree on a lot of things. Why don't you come on home with me for a drink and see what else we agree on?
Oh, don't go yet, Mr. Peterson. Can't I give you another drink?
No, thanks, Mrs. Crane. It's really time I went home.
Oh, I'm glad you came home with me, Peterson. Glad to know you and me see eye to eye on a lot of this civil defense stuff.
You bet, Crane. Well, thanks for a very pleasant evening, Mrs. Crane.
Maybe you'll come again. Give us a ring anytime.
I'll certainly bear that in mind. This way, huh?
Yeah, this way.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, what do you make of him, Della?
Seems to have his heart in the right place.
Last 2 or 3 meetings, he's been backing me up, and good, too. Great little discourager. And all the time, he sounds like the doggondest eager beaver you ever heard.
Maybe he'd make a super American.
That's what I thought.
It's time I tipped Mr. Hector anyway. He ought to be coming here to Finnsburg for a general look-see, and that's when he can meet Peterson.
You are listening to the case of the double-crossing defender on Counterspy. Today, over most NBC stations, Cary Grant and Betsy Drake star in the premiere of a delightful newcomer to your NBC Sunday lineup, Mr. and Mrs. Blandings. It's top listening for the entire family, with Mr. and Mrs. Blandings in their troublesome dream house. Sunday also means another broadcast of The Big Show, and today your hostess Tallulah presents Fred Allen, Judy Holliday, Vaughn Monroe, and many, many more. Now, back to Counterspy.
From Peters, assignment Finnsburg to David Harding, Washington. Chief cause of civil defense difficulty here, one Steve Crane, member of apparently patriotic group called Super America Incorporated. Mrs. Crane says Chief Super American Henry Harrison Hector of Baltimore arriving here soon. Advised.
Harding to Peters. Spot check of 11 civil defense groups shows similar activity by persons belonging to Super America Incorporated and flying to Finnsburg.
Finnsburg Press, Mr. Harding. I've been assigned to interview you about your trip here.
Oh, well, I don't see any other reporters, Mr.
Peterson, Mr. Harding. I guess I'm the first man here. I had an inside tip that you might be on this plane. I wonder if we could just step away from the crowd here.
Of course.
Tell me, how long do you expect to stay in our city, Mr. Harding?
Long enough to survey the civil defense organizations here.
Chief, this fellow Henry Harrison Hector is arriving in Finnsburg in a couple of days.
you learn anything about Super America Incorporated?
Well, it describes itself as a super patriotic organization, but its literature follows the Communist Party line like one snake after another.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how's that tie in with what you know of Crane and his wife?
There are a couple of smarties, Dave. Crane gets in his dirty work by seeming to be a real eager beaver. His wife has joined up, too. She does the same, but actually they discourage people. That seems to be the idea.
Probably following a national pattern.
Well, here come reporters from the other papers.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Harding, and lots of luck to you in your stay here.
I'll be at the Riverside Hotel, Peter.
Right.
Okay, Peterson. Tell your paper to get behind this campaign to step up civil defense. So long.
And here, Mr. Hector, here's a layout of the Civil Defense Control Center.
Very complete. Steve's work?
He's good at that sort of thing. He's down there tonight doing extra volunteer work, if you know what I mean.
These are the main phone lines?
The trunks run into the basement here. Main water valve there. Main power line here, and main switch next to it.
Radio room?
Second floor. Good setup, Steve says. Modern equipment. Big control board to keep in touch with radio hands in the city in case of attack.
Medical department? Aircraft spotting room?
Third floor. Phone communications with 100 observation posts in a big ring outside the city. And, here. Director's office. This man, Blair. We have a file on him and also his staff.
Good.
Liaison with police and fire departments, public health authorities, welfare and public information. Transportation here. Big garage, trucks, and so on.
A depressingly efficient setup, Della.
Sure. But what good is it? Unless the civil defense people themselves are really pepped up. And they're not. Your plan has been working beautifully.
And so I've heard from many other cities. It's lucky because actually these defense setups are good. If we can only keep the people so discouraged they don't use them to the fullest advantage.
That's where I thought this man Peterson might come in. We can always use new recruits.
Have you checked on him?
No, I haven't had the time. I hoped you might from Baltimore.
He's an unknown, Della. I think we better... Would that be...
I hope so. Put away that map.
Yeah.
Good evening, Mrs. Crane. I'm afraid I'm a few minutes late.
Hello. Come on in.
Thank you.
This is Harry Peterson, and this is Mr. Henry Harrison Hector, National Chairman of Super America Incorporated.
How do you do, sir?
Sit down, Mr. Peterson, and let's have a long, honest talk, shall we?
Mr. Harding, Peterson of the Finnsburg Press.
Oh, hello, Peterson.
Tonight I met the man, H.H.H.
Yes?
The scheme is to destroy civil defense morale. I gave him a lot of personal detail based on New York City, the same we've used before in similar cases.
As I understand. I'll wire New York to back you up. If HHH is on the level, he'll drop you because of your supposed record as a subversive. But if he's not on the level...
We'll see. I'll check you tomorrow. Good night.
Hello?
Chief, Peters. HHH lost no time checking on me. It was 3 nights ago that I first met him. Tonight I had a call to meet him at the Crane's apartment.
Then he wants you in spite of your fake subversive record.
He may be our man.
Right. Well, I understand there's to be a test alert very soon. I hope we can run this down before that.
Steve, as I understand your duties at the control center, you are a guard at the main entrance.
That's right, Mr. Hector.
And Della?
Volunteer assistant at the medical center.
And our friend Peterson?
Information center, assistant to the director.
I've been thinking, and as super Americans, we must always think ahead of everyone else. An ordinary test alert is no test at all because everyone knows it's fake. Now, what if we make this a real alert by spreading the alarm during the test that it's the real thing?
That's taking a chance, Mr. Hector.
At an appropriate moment, suddenly give a false report. Start shouting, it's the real thing, a real attack. You understand?
Brother.
There'll be a panic.
People injured and killed, Mr. Hector.
Suppose it were the real thing. People would be killed, would they not? You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs. Very well. That's all. Peterson, you leave first.
Okay. Good night, all. See you at the test, whenever it is.
I gather you got an okay report on Peterson, Mr. Hector?
Yes, from New York. He's going to be a valuable man.
I'll get it, Della.
No, never mind, Steve. Hello? Yes, Mr. Hector is right. Oh. Are you sure? Yes, I'll tell him. Thanks. Goodbye.
Huh?
That call's from New York, Mr. Hector. They checked further on Peterson. He's not all he said he was.
What?
He may be some kind of undercover agent. Oh, what a dumb mistake for us to make.
No regrets now. Steve.
Yeah?
During the test alert, see to it that Peterson is one of the people killed in the panic.
That ought to be easy. And when I... What the...
The lights are blinking.
Steve, that's the first signal for the alert. We've got 15 minutes to get to our post.
Then get going. And remember your orders.
Radio operators to your sectors in Disaster Area 4. Radio operators, Disaster Area 4. Medical Corps and ambulances to Medical Post 7 and 13. 7 and 13. Report to communications on arrival. Trucks for utilities repair. Trucks for utilities repair to the boundaries of Disaster Area 4. Turn off gas and power lines to prevent explosions. Reopen blocked sewers. Guides for injured and homeless. Stay in your vehicles till you reach rallying points. Guide injured and homeless to shelters 9, 11, and 17. 9, 11, and 17.
Everything going all right, Blair?
So far, yes, Mr. Harding, but... Oh, here's one of the men I was telling you about. The one that's always spreading discouragement.
Oh.
His name's Peterson.
Hello, Mr. Blair. Oh, Mr. Harding, can I speak to you, sir?
Yes? I just came from meeting Hector, Chief. They're going to start a panic. That it's a real attack.
It's a real fifth column trick.
I'll get 17.
All right, I'll alert one of our squads outside.
Hey, listen, everybody! This is no fake attack, it's real!
That's Steve Crane following orders.
The first bomb hit the suburbs. There's nothing left of him. There's nothing we can do. Save yourselves! The next bomb will hit the middle of the city! Save yourselves!
No, wait, everybody. Stand by your posts. No matter what happens, stand by your posts.
Don't listen to that fool. Save yourselves.
Chief, that's Hector himself among the crowd. Work your way near him, Peter.
Men, women, listen to this. This is Harding, United States Counterspy. Right. Listen to Mr. Harding. Now, don't be panicked by a rumor. This is the time to prove you're well disciplined. Don't let anyone leave this room or the building. All right, back to Now, Mr. Blair, check your outpost. Right. Zone director to all spotters. Have any real bombs been dropped? Any real bombs? Not one, Mr. Harding. You see, it was a rumor, a deliberate rumor by fifth columnists trying to start a panic.
Crane was caught at the door, Mr. Harding, and here's the boss of the bunch, Henry Harrison Hector.
Well, the chief super-American himself.
Mr. Harding, you misunderstand our purpose. We wanted to make this a real test.
Well, that's too bad for you, Hector. One of your newest recruits is going to be the star witness against you and your organization. Take him away, Peter.
Come on, Hector.
Mr. Harding, I'm very grateful for your help. But are we past the danger?
Well, as long as there's danger of war, Blair, there's the danger of fifth column. And the best protection against them is vigilance and courage. You've done it here. I know every American can do it.
Tonight's Counterspy program originated in New York, was directed by Marks B. Loeb, dramatized by Paul R. Milton, and featured Don McLaughlin and Mandel Kramer. Lionel Rico speaking. Counterspy is a Phillips H. Lord production.
Three chimes mean good times on NBC.
In a moment, Cary Grant and Betsy Drake star in the premiere of a delightful newcomer to your NBC Sunday lineup, Mr. and Mrs. Blandings. It's top listening for the entire family with Mr. and Mrs. Blandings and their troublesome dream house. Sunday also means another one-hour production by Theater Guild on the Air. It's the delightful comedy, The Fortune Hunter, starring Gene Crane and John Lund. This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.